Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we will see what if Naruto summons Duel monster. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. Shit, we're late, a teenage boy said. That boy has two-toned brown hair and eyes and we was wearing gray jacket that has a red shirt underneath it and has gray pants and sneakers. He also has a dual disc hanging around his right arm. This boy name is Jaden Yuki. Well, it's your own fault bro. Another teenage boy said. This boy has blonde spiky hair, blue eyes and has 3 whisker marks on each side of his face. He was wearing a black jacket with strange dragon tattoo on the back with black shirt underneath it, black pants and a pair of sneakers. He also has a dual disc hanging around his arm. This boy name is Naruto Yuki. Damn it, you better run faster. Jaden said as he and Naruto were running in the streets and headed to Duel Academy for the entrance exam. Unfortunately they were late thanks to Jaden, who wake up late. Oi Jaden, slow down will you? Naruto said as he saw Jaden running ahead of him and saw a guy blocking Jaden way. Crash. Jaden crashes to the ground causing his dual disc to fall down to the ground along with his deck. Jaden quickly started to pick up his cards before he turned his head to that person he crashed. Sorry about that, Jaden said before he started to pick his deck again. Naruto finally catch up and saw Jaden picking his cards up. Yo, you okay bro? Naruto asked as he approaches Jaden and started helping pick up his cards and ignoring the person who Jaden just crashed into. Yeah, I'm okay, Jaden said as he and Naruto continues to pick up the cards. You're both a duelist aren't you? The guy said that Jaden just crashed into. Yeah, and we're going to take up our entrance exam at the academy. Jaden said as he and Naruto were done picking up the cards. You don't say? The guy said as he let out a chuckle. Yeah, Jaden said as he let out a chuckle and Naruto turns his attention to the guy that Jaden crashed into causing his eyes widen in shock. Jaden finally looks at the guy and his eyes widen also. Hey Yugi, it's been a while, Naruto said to the king of games, Yugi Moto himself. Yugi nodded at him. Yes, been a while Naruto, the last time I saw you was when you defeated Kaiba. Yugi said to Naruto before turning his attention to Jaden. He grabbed something from his deck holder around his waist and gave a card to Jaden. Something tells me that you might need it, Yugi said and Jaden accepted the card. Good luck to the both of you, the guy said before he walks past them. The two turned back their attention to Yugi, who was about to leave. Thank you, we'll make you proud, Jaden said before he and Naruto bow their heads as a sign of gratitude. Yugi just looks back and gave them a thumb up. The two just look at the cards that were given to them. Jaden received a winged Karibo card. Wow, I just received a card from the king of game himself, Jaden said before turning to Naruto. Why didn't tell me that you already met him? Jaden whined at Naruto and Naruto started to sweat and quickly looks at time on his wristwatch and his eyes widen in shock. Shit, we're going to be late, Naruto said and Jaden's eyes widened in shock, forgetting the question he just asked before the two started running again and headed to the academy. Duel Academy entrance. Alright, time's up. Ladies, mark the no-show a no-show, a man in suit said. Wait, a voice shouted. The man and the girls looked to where that voice came from and saw 2 boys climbing up in the rails. You can mark Jaden and Naruto Yuki as present. Thank you, well just as long as we don't fall off, Jaden said as he and Naruto finally arrived at the Duel Academy entrance exam. Time skip. Wow, look at that guy go, Jaden said as he and Naruto were watching the duel. Alright new guy, multiple choices. When 2 monsters are staring you down, do you A. throw in the towel, B. beg for mercy, or C. run home to mama? The proctor taunted the boy on the opposite side of the field with a Vorse Raider and a face down card. I'll go with D, none of the above. The boy retaliated and activated his face-down card, Ring of Destruction. Jaden and Jason were impressed as the applicant sacrificed his own monster to win the duel, bringing the proctor's points down to 0. Clever move, applicant, the proctor praised. Welcome to the academy. The boy bowed in respect. Thank you. Jaden and Naruto nodded in approval of this duelist as the holograms disappeared off the field. Sweetness, I gotta duel that guy, Jaden exclaimed loudly and excitedly, causing many bygoers to turn and stare at him. That guy is pretty good, don't you think, Chaz? Jason and Jaden turned their attention to a group of 3 boys in blue coats sitting just a little bit away from them. They guessed they were already enrolled in the academy since they had their blazers. Guess the rumor about him being some kind of whiz kid was true, huh Chaz huh? The second boy spoke to a dark-haired boy that was leaning back in his chair with his arms stretched out behind his head. He's a punk, Chaz spat. We went to dual prep school for the past 3 years. We're ready for the academy. These kids don't know what they're getting into. But they'll learn, the hard way, the Chaz Princeton way. He finished with a smirk that all but spelled out trouble. That's Bastion Misawa. Jaden and Naruto look at the new voice. Next to them was a short boy with spiked blue hair and glasses that was staring at dueling field. It said that he got the highest exam score out of all his applicants. Jaden and Naruto whistled in amazement. Wow, me and my brother here just barely passed. Jaden said, yeah me too. My name's Cyrus Truesdale by the way, nice to meet you too. The boy said who is now identified as Cyrus. Nice to meet you too. I'm Naruto Yuki and this is my brother Jaden Yuki. Naruto said to Cyrus. Cyrus looked at the two started compare their faces. You don't seem very identical and I don't see much of a resemblance. Cyrus blurted out and his eyes widened in shock and quickly shut his mouth. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to offend you too. Cyrus said with an apologetic look on his face and Naruto just waved it off. Don't sweat it. And you're right, we're not brothers by blood but adopted brothers. Naruto said and Cyrus nodded his head before he and Jaden turns their attention to Bastion who taking a seat in a row of seats just below them. Hey Bastion, sweet duel done there, Jaden said to Bastion. Bastion turns his attention to Jaden and the others. Thank you, Bastion replied politely. By the look of things, you might be the third best duelist here after me and my brother. Jaden said as he pointed at himself and Naruto who was currently talking to Cyrus. Bastion just raised a brow at him. Will Jaden Yuki please report to dueling field 4? Jaden Yuki to field 4. Well that's my cue. Jaden placed his deck into his duel disc and headed down to the field. Good luck bro. Naruto called out. Jaden stops in his track and turns his attention to his adopted brother and gave him thumbs up before heading field. You think your brother will be alright? Cyrus asked and Naruto just smiled at him. Don't worry, I'm sure he got this in the bag. Naruto said. In the field. Tell me your name son. The proctor said. He's male, but could easily be mistaken as a woman if you didn't know who he was due to all the makeup that he wore for some bizarre reason. He wore a blue blazer that has some gold shoulder plates and trimmings along with a ruffled pink collar. He also had his blonde hair in a ponytail. This was Dr. Velian Crowler, headmaster of the Obelisk Blue Boys dorm and an elitist snob. He was standing at the opposite side of the field. Jaden Yuki. Jaden said with an excited tone. Well, Jaden Yuki, I'm Dr. Velian Crowler, head of the Obelisk's Boys dorm and the department chair of techniques here at Duel Academy. Wow, a department chair? From the way you were dressed I thought you were some kind of academy mascot. Jaden rubbed his head sheepishly, causing Crowler to go red with anger and Naruto to chuckle a bit, thinking it was true and funny. Now that he mentions it, the boy wearing glasses next to Chaz said as he took in Jaden's comment on the doctor. This guy's got some lip, huh Chaz? The other said. The dark-haired guy looked on with a smirk. I think I'm gonna enjoy watching Crowler mop the floor with our mouthy little friend down there. I only wish he treated all the other second-rate duelists that applied to this school the same way. Duel vest on. Crowler snapped activating it and drew his 5 cards. Jaden was amazed by the machinery as was his brother. Hey, that's pretty sweet, Teach. How do I get one of those stunning cool duel blazers? Jaden asked excitedly. Oh, a lot of hard work and extremely high marks. Crowler answered. Of course, you have to be accepted first. Which I will make sure you don't. Well whatever? Jaden said with shrugged as he activated his duel disc. Get your game on. Up in the stands were 3 people watching the duel that was about to take place. All 3 were obelisks from the color of their outfits. There was 1 guy and 2 girls. The one guy had dark blue hair and gray-colored eyes and wore the white variation of the boy's blazer while the girls wore the female version, a blue and white blazer with a blue miniskirt and blue heels. One had long golden blonde hair and brown eyes while the other girl had long crimson hair and blue eyes. The blonde girl also had blue fingerless dueling gloves. This kid really must have pissed Crowler off if he's the one dueling him. The crimson hair girl said. Or maybe he's really good, the blonde-haired girl mumbled as she started to observe the dueling field. What do you think, Zane? I think Natsumi might be right, Alexis. Zane kept his arms folded at his chest. He must have made Crowler mad if he's wasting his time dueling a runt like him. Guess we'll find out. Natsumi trailed off as the duel officially started. Crowler. 4,000. Jaden. 4,000. I'll go first. Draw. Jaden drew his card and looked at it. Alright, I summon Elemental Hero Avian, 1000 in defense mode. Then Elemental Hero Avian appeared in a field in defense position. Next I throw down a face down and end my turn. Yes, it's my move now. Crowler said, and he draw a card. He looks at his cards and a smirk appeared on his face. Since I'm using my own personal deck, I'll make sure that this slacker will fail. For my first move, I use the magic card confiscation. Crowler said as he showed the card to Jaden. Okay, what'd it do? Jaden asked. I pay 1,000 life points for a chance to pick in your hand and toss a card to the graveyard. Crowler said. Then Jaden cards in his hands were glowing and several cards appeared in front of Crowler. Crowler scans the cards in front of him and smirk again. I choose Monster Reborn to be sent to the graveyard. With that, Jaden Monster Reborn card was sent the graveyard. Next I place 2 cards face down, play spell card Heavy Storm. To destroy every single card in the spell and trap zone. Soon every single card on the spell, trap zone was destroyed. And since the cards destroyed were Statue of the Wicked, I can summon out 2 tokens. Then 2 serpent-like tokens appeared on the field. A card the strong can't be in one of the testing decks. Crowler must be using his own deck. The boy in glasses said. Then this duel is over. No one can beat a deck of an expert like Dr. Crowler. The other boy said while leaning in anticipation, while Chaz has a smirk on his face, liking what he was seeing. What an elitist snob, Alexis said with a scoff. Bully some kid with his very best cards. Ditto on that, Alexis, Natsumi said with a growl, not liking how Crowler was doing to the kid. You two are too soft, Zane said, causing the two to look at him. I just hope we get to see that legendary rare card Crowler has on his deck. And now I sacrifice them. To bring forth Ancient Gear Golem. 3,000, Crowler said as a giant man made out of rusted metal appeared behind Crowler. Alexis gasped as she saw the monster. There it is, the legendary monster. Natsumi just whistled in amazement. Now attack your monster. Go Ancient Gear Golem. Crowler shouted and Ancient Gear raised its fist and strike down Avian, creating a small explosion and destroying Avian. Crowler. 3,000. Jaden. 2,000. Huh? Why did Jaden life points went down? Cyrus asked, while Naruto just silently observing the duel. It's because of Ancient Gear Golem effect. The difference of its attack points and the defending monster life points will be inflicted to the opponent life points. Since Avian defense is 1,000 and Ancient Gear Golem has 3,000 attack points. Then Jaden life points is deducted to 2,000 points. Bastion explained, causing Cyrus' eyes widen in shock. Just believe in your deck, Jaden, Naruto thought as he continues to watch the duel with a serious look on his face. With that I end my turn. Had enough? Crowler taunted Jaden, but to his and everyone's surprise except for Naruto. They saw Jaden laughing. This more fun than I thought, teach, and that is one awesome monster. Jaden said with an excited tone. Before his expression turned serious again. My turn, draw. Jaden shouted, and to his surprise he draw Winged Kuribo. Then he started to hear voices from Winged Kuribo. What, you want me to use you? Jaden asked Kuribo. Curry, Winged Kuribo said. Alright, I trust you, partner. Jaden said before he looks at Crowler again. Next I summon Winged Kuribo in defense mode. Jaden said and Winged Kuribo appeared on the field, 200s. I throw a face down and end my turn. That's it? A rookie mistake, I suppose. Crowler taunted as he drew a card. Now I attack with Ancient Gear Golem. Ancient Gear Golem raised its fist and destroyed Winged Kuribo. Now Winged Kuribo effect activated. When it's destroyed in battle and sent to the graveyard, all battle damage is 0. Jaden said as he places Winged Kuribo to the graveyard. Thanks a lot, partner. Jaden said to Winged Kuribo. That's a surprise, Natsumi said. She was impressed that Jaden was able to save himself. You can't expect that Crowler all know the tricks, Natsumi. Zane said to her. Well, I surprised that you were able to save yourself with help from that stupid monster of yours. Crowler said to Jaden. This causes Naruto glare at Crowler. Whoa, slow down there, teach. That doesn't you give the right to call my monster stupid. Jaden said as gave a glare to Crowler. Oh yes, I forgot that how attach you rookies to your duel monsters. Crowler kept taunting Jaden. Yeah, well since you destroyed Winged Kuribo I can activate this. Hero signal. Jaden said as he activated his trap card and a signal that said, H, appeared in the air. Thanks to that I can summon an elemental hero from my hand or deck. I summon elemental hero Burstinatrix from my deck. Jaden said as he summons his monster to the field. It was a woman in red that has black hair with white stakes at the end. 1208 My turn. I draw, Jaden said as he draw his card and smirked appeared on his face. Now I activate Warrior Returning Alive to bring Avian to back to my hand, then I play Polymerization. I fused together Burstinatrix and Avian. Avian appeared in the field and the two heroes jump into the vortex in the air. To form elemental hero Flame Wingman. Jaden said as the new monster appeared in the field. 2100 Big deal. It's still too weak to beat my monster. Crowler snorted. I'm not done yet. I play the field spell Skyscraper. Jaden said then field turned into a large city with tall buildings. Looks like Crowler done for. Naruto said with a smile on his face. What do you mean Naruto? Cyrus asked with confusion. Just watch. Naruto said with a smile on his face. Now attack your ancient gear golem with my flame wingman. Jaden said and flame wingman fly in the air. Bring him on. Your field spell didn't do a thing to my monster. Crowler sneer. Because this field spell is for my monster. When an elemental hero 80 power is lower than opponent monster. Then my hero gain a bonus of 1080 points. Jaden said and this causes Crowler eyes widen in shock. Wait a minute, time out. Crowler said but Jaden ignored him. Here goes. Destroy him Flame Wingman. Jaden said and Flame Wingman body was covered with flames and dives down to Ancient Gear Golem. Destroying the monster. Crowler. 2900. Jaden. 2000. Now thanks to Flame Wingman effect. You take much damage on how much your monster 80 points has. Jaden said with a smile on his face and soon Crowler was being crushed by the pieces of Ancient Gear Golem has left. Crowler. 0. Jaden. 2000. Winner. Now that's game. Jaden grinned as he pointed at Crowler with his index and third fingers together. Soon the hologram disappeared. Crowler was on the ground and watches Jaden leave the field. How dare he humiliate me? Crowler thought angrily. Wow, that's a surprise turnover. Natsumi said with surprised tone. Ditto. Alexis said the girls just look over Zane and he didn't say a thing but continues to look on the field. Jaden and the others. That was a great match. Cyrus said. Indeed it was. Bastion said and Jaden just grinned at them. Nice going bro. You sure now know how to use that deck that Koyo gave you. Naruto said to Jaden. Jaden just gave his adopted brother a thumb up. Like I told you before. I will be his next living legacy. Jaden said and Naruto just smiled at him. Will Naruto Yuki please report to dueling field 4? Naruto Yuki to field 2. That's my cue guys. Wish me luck. Naruto said as he headed down to the field. Look at crowd. They're pump up. Jaden said as he looks at everyone and saw they were leaning in anticipation. Well, I don't blame them. After your match everyone is eager to see how your brother duels. Bastion said. Hey Jaden, how good is your brother? Cyrus asked and Jaden just smiled at him. He's a league of his own. He still is too much for me. After all he was able to beat Kaiba Seto himself. Jaden stated and this causes Bastion and Cyrus to look on surprise look on their faces before looking back at the field and saw Naruto waiting for his opponent. Looks like Jaden brother is next. Zane said as he looks at Naruto. He's kind of cute, Alexis noted and this caused Zane to look at Alexis with confused look on his face before he turns his attention to Natsumi and he saw that Natsumi has her eyes widen in shock as she looks at Naruto. Hey Natsumi, what's wrong? Zane asked and this caused Natsumi snapped out from her thoughts and shook her head. Nothing's wrong. Natsumi said and this causes Alexis and Zane to look at her with concerned look on their faces as they saw that Natsumi had depressed look on her face. Is it really you? Natsumi thought sadly as she looks at Naruto. Two slackers. Chaz shouted as he looks at the field with raging eyes. It's bad enough that Slacker beaten Crowler by a fluke and now another Slacker is joining us too. In the field, Naruto continues to wait for his opponent and his and everyone's surprise it was Crowler. Name please. Crowler asked with annoyed tone and Naruto just rolled his eyes. Naruto Yuki. Naruto said and this causes Crowler to look at him with surprise look on his face. You don't look like much of that Slacker brother of yours. Crowler said and Naruto narrowed his eyes for the insult that Crowler used on Jaden. I'm his adopted brother, Naruto said. A grin appeared on Crowler's face. Well, this going to be fun. I'm gonna enjoy paying back for your Slacker brother did to me. Crowler said and Naruto just rolled his eyes. Man, I can't believe that I'm fighting this clown. Naruto muttered. Let's just start already. Naruto said as he activated his dual disc while Crowler activated his dual vest. Duel. Crowler. 4000. Naruto. 4000. I'll start off. Crowler said as he drew a card. He looks at his hand and a smirk appeared on his face. I play the spell card Magnet Circle LV2. Crowler said and the card activated in the field. Thanks this spell card, I can summon this, Ancient Gear. 100-800s. Crowler said as he placed the card into the monster zone and a small and strange metallic monster appeared on the field. This card's special effect allows me to summon another one. Crowler said and another copy appeared on the field. Now, I sacrifice both monsters to bring out this. Both monster disappeared and Crowler slammed the card into his monster zone. Come forth Ancient Gear Galgatron Dragon. 3000-3000s. Crowler said as a giant metal dragon appeared behind him and let out a threatening roar. Everyone in the room except for Naruto gasped in shock. Another rare monster. Natsumi said in shock as she looks at Naruto with a worried look on her face. He really wanna destroy him. Zane said, man that's just wrong. Alexis said as she watches the match. Squash him, Chaz said with smirk on his face. Great Scott. Another rare card. Bastion said with shock look on his face. Naruto is in tight spot now. Cyrus said with a concerned look on his face. Don't worry, my brother got this. Jaden said and the two turn around and saw that Jaden had a grin on his face. Now I end my turn. Crowler said arrogantly thinking that he scared the crap out of Naruto but the blonde didn't have any reaction at all. That's it? Naruto asked and Crowler along everyone in the crowd look at him with shock look on their faces. What do you mean? Crowler asked, not suspecting that Naruto respond after seeing the monster. I don't know, the fact that you don't have any face down cards or anything else. All I can say that you're underestimating me. Naruto said with shrugged before he let out a sigh. Whatever, I draw, Naruto said as he drew his card and looks at him. He didn't notice the angry look that Crowler was giving him. I make sure to destroy you in this duel. Crowler vowed in his thoughts. Naruto continues to scan to look at the cards and nodded his head. First I play the spell card the Pot of Greed, which allows me to draw 2 cards. Naruto said as he draws 2 more cards. Then I play the spell card Cards of Destruction which make us discards the cards in our hands and draw new cards with same number of cards we discarded. Naruto said then 2 players discard the cards in their hands and draw out new cards. What is he up to? Bastion said as he observed the duel while Jaden has smirk on his face. Now I special summon a monster from the graveyard. Come out Region Warrior. 0/0. Naruto said as the monster appeared on the field. This is Region Warrior effect. When this card is sent to the graveyard from my hand I can special summon it to the field. Next I send to 2 cards from my hand to the graveyard to special summon Big Eater. 800/0. In attack position, Naruto said. A strange masked monster appeared in Naruto field. Now I summon Jung Cycron, 1300-500s, to the field. Naruto said as a small orange metallic robot appeared on the field. Now I activate his special ability. I can summon a level 2 or lower level monster from my graveyard and in defense position and I choose Speed Warrior, 900-400s. Naruto said and a human wearing a gas mask that covered his entire face and gray armor monster appears to the field. Now since I have Tuner monster in my field, I can special summon Quillbolt Hedgehog, 800-800s, to the field. Naruto said and a small hamster with several bolts in its body appeared on the field. Wow, he was able to summon 5 monsters already. Alexis said with an impressed look on her face. Well, neither of them stands a chance against Crowler monster. Zane said. Well, I'm sure there's a purpose he done that. Natsumi said as she continues to observe the duel. Wow, that's a great move he done there, Jaden. Cyrus said with shocked look on his face. You're just getting to the good part. Jaden stated with grin on his face. Already know what his brother planned. But I want to know what your brother meant by tuner monster. Where have I heard that before? Bastion said as he tries to recall something in his memories. Big deal. So-called bunch of monsters. But none of them can beat my monster. Crowler sneered and Naruto just let out a chuckle. Who said that I was done? Naruto said and Crowler looks at him with confused look on his face. Pop quiz. Have you ever heard synchron summoning before? Naruto asked and this causes everyone in the room gasped except for Jaden. You know synchron summon? Crowler stuttered. Let me explain. 11 months ago a new summoning was created and this was created by Industrial Illusion Company along with the Kaiba Corp. One prototype deck was created after a few months later and was given to specific person whom no one in the public knew, until now. That's right and I'm gonna show it to everyone today. Naruto said with a smirk on his face. That's impossible. How can you know synchron summoning? You're just bluffing. Crowler shouted. Just watch me. I tune my level 3 junk synchron with my level 2 speed warrior and level 2 quillbolt hedgehog. Naruto said as the 3 monster jump in the air. Junk synchron changes into 3 green rings and surrounded speed warrior and quillbolt hedgehog. Out of 2 become 1, and out of 1 will come great cosmic might. Naruto chanted as a large pillar of light erupted behind Naruto. I synchron summon. Junk Archer, 2300 2000s. The light was gone and reveals an orange robot that has a bow in his hands. Everyone was completely shocked in what they saw and was completely speechless. That was so cool, Cyrus said with shocked look on his face. Yes, that was impressive but it's still not enough to defeat Crowler monster. Bastion said as he finally snapped out from his shock and was still impressed in what Naruto did just now. He still hasn't activated his effect guys. Jaden said causing the two look surprised before looking back at the duel field. So that's synchron summoning. That was really impressive, Alexis said, but not enough to beat Crowler monster. Zane commented. Natsumi was just quiet and continues to observe the match. Crowler finally snapped out from his shock before he sneers at Naruto. Your monster is still too weak to defeat mine. Naruto just smirked at him. I activated Junk Archer special ability. I can remove any monster on your side of the field for the rest of turn before he comes back again. Naruto said and Crowler and many of people in building eyes widened in shock in hearing this. What? Go! Junk Archer. Naruto shouted and Junk Archer aims at the metal dragon and shot the arrow at it. Soon a vortex swallowed the dragon and it was completely gone. Everyone was completely shocked in what they saw. Crowler monster is gone, Alexis said with shocked look on her face. Didn't see that coming, Zane said as his eyes widened a little. Neither did I, Natsumi said with shock. Now that your monster is gone, you are now completely defenseless. You don't have any card to protect you. Naruto said with smirk on his face. Crowler turned pale as he realizes that Naruto was right. Now I use 2 copies of a equip spell card. Synchron Boost. This allows me to add the level of my monster by 1 in 580 points. I'm putting all in my region warrior. 0-1000 over 0, 4 LV 6 LV. Everyone eyes widen in shock and realizes one thing. Alright my bro wins, Jaden said with a big grin on his face. Now attack him directly. Naruto commanded and all of his 3 monsters charges at Crowler. Wait, can we talk about this? Crowler pleaded, which was really pathetic in Naruto view. Hell no. Naruto shouted and the 3 monster attacked Crowler. Naruto and Jaden were sitting at the back of the plane that would take them along with the other students to Duel Academy Island. Jaden was really excited in joining the academy while Naruto was completely relaxed. Man, this going too exciting don't you think bro? Jaden said and Naruto just glanced at Jaden and smirk at him. Yeah sure but I can't help but feel that something weird gonna happen. Naruto said and Jaden shrugged at him. Nah ignored it. Probably it's just plane sickness. Jaden said and Naruto just rolled his eyes before decided to take a nap but he can't help but feel that something weird going to happen. Time skip. Soon Naruto and Jaden found themselves at the large room with screen in front of them. Naruto looks at Jaden who sleeps standing. Naruto just chuckled at it before he suddenly flicked Jaden on the forehead, causing his adopted brother to be awake. Huh? What? Jaden mumbled as he started to awake. Jaden, it's about to start, Naruto said to Jaden before he looks at the screen. Then the screen turns on and reveals a bald man that has a beard around his face. Good morning and welcome, students. I am Chancellor Shepard, the headmaster of the school, and you are the best and brightest duelist in the world. Now please, get yourselves settled in at your assigned dorms. I think you find them quite comfortable, depending on how you ranked, of course. Shepard said as he let out a chuckle that made everyone also chuckle. Time skip. Well, Cyrus, I'm in Slifer Red, Jaden said as he checked his PDA that he received from the school. He and Cyrus were sitting at the stone decoration at the main entrance. Me too, Jay, Cyrus as he also checked his PDA. Where's your brother Jaden and what dorm is he? He said that he needs to meet someone first and he was Slifer Red also. He said that it was something to do with our uniforms, Jaden said, and Cyrus realizes something. So, that's why we are red uniform, Cyrus said. Please don't tell me that you realize that now, a voice said, and the two turned their attention to that voice and saw Misawa standing in front of them with yellow blazer uniform. Jaden just gave Bastion a fake glare. Hey, I resent that. You think that I'm colorblind? Jaden asked with a mocking glare. Actually no, I didn't. Are you colorblind? Bastion asked with amused look on his face. No, I doubt that, Jaden said as he let out a chuckle, and Bastion started to walk away. See y'all at the dorms. I doubt that. Your dorm is way over there, Bastion said as he pointed. A silhouette of a small building was seen, with Naruto. Naruto was standing in front of Chancellor Shepard in his office. He was wearing a Slifer uniform. Well, Naruto, I'm glad you came to see me, Shepard said, and Naruto just nodded his head at Headmaster. Yes, it's been a long time since I last saw you, Mr. Shepard, Naruto said. The two had met in small tournament 2 years ago, which Naruto won the tournament. I'm surprised you decided to enroll the academy, Naruto. After all, you received many offers to join the Pro League, Shepard said with a chuckle. Well, I still want a normal school life, and besides I need to watch out for my little brother after all, and that's why I requested to be in the Slifer dorm, remember? Naruto said, and Headmaster just chuckled at him. Anyway, why are you here, Naruto? I'm sure that there's a reason you're here, Shepard asked, and Naruto face turned serious. I'm sure that Kaiba already told one of my other reasons that I'm here, Naruto said, and this causes Shepard to turn serious as well. Naruto was working under Kaiba, and that's how he was able to receive the prototype of the Cycron summoning deck, and as well as he was prodigy in dueling. He was able to defeat Seto Kaiba in a private duel 2 times, which was a real shock. Blue Eyes White Dragon user. Yes, the students have been disappearing for some unknown reason. That's the reason why Mr. Seto wanted you to investigate and try to solve this, Shepard said, and Naruto nodded at him. Yeah, and I need you to allow me to investigate around campus if ever something happened like that, Naruto said, and Shepard nodded in understanding. Very well, please give me your PDA, Shepard said, and Naruto handed him his PDA. Shepard grabbed the PDA and started to press something in the PDA. Naruto knew that maybe some kind of secret code. Here you go, Naruto, Shepard said as he handed back the PDA. Naruto grabbed the PDA and noticed his picture that said, All Access, besides it. Now you have authorization that you have all access within the academy, Shepard said, and Naruto nodded at him. Thanks, Mr. Shepard, Naruto said, and Shepard nodded at him. Naruto was about to leave when suddenly Shepard called him. Naruto, Shepard said, and Naruto turns back his attention to him, and Naruto caught something that Shepard thrown. He opens his hand and saw it was a key and a piece of folded paper. Already send your other stuff at the hidden passage at the Slifer dorm. I hope I get see your project first, Shepard said as he smiled at Naruto. Naruto just smirked at him and nodded before he left the office. Now to head back to the dorm, Naruto said as he made his way back to the dorm. He passes through the obelisk arena when suddenly he heard voices coming from it. Cut it, you two, a voice shouted. Naruto curiosity got of him and looked at one of the entrances of the arena and saw that Jaden with Cyrus along with 3 obelisk student. I mean, he was able to beat Crowler legendary monster. That would take some skills. One of the voices said, and Naruto looks who it was and saw it was Chaz Princeton. You got that right, Jaden said confidently. Or is it pure luck? I say we find out, Chaz said. Bring it, Jaden said as the two stare at each other. Naruto was about to step inside when suddenly saw two new students enter the arena and they were two girls. Naruto presumed they were Obelisk after all girls in this academy are automatically Obelisk blue. Naruto looks closely and his eyes widen in shock as he recognizes one of the girls. It can't be, there's no way she's here. Naruto thought his memories in the past is coming back to haunt him. Chaz, what are you doing? The girl in crimson hair said. Chaz looks at the girl with a grin on his face. Alexis and Natsumi. Are you two gonna watch me thrash this slifer loser? Chaz said and Naruto's eyes widened in shock after hearing the girls' names. Damn it, she is here. Naruto mentally shouted in his mind as his anger started to control on him, but he took a deep breath to calm down before his face changed into a blank expression. He saw Chaz and his friends left the arena. He decided to enter the arena now. You two should be going now to get on time on the slifer welcome party. Natsumi said to Jaden and Cyrus. Jaden, Cyrus. Naruto called, causing everyone to turn around. Saw Naruto approaching them. Naruto caught Natsumi's eyes widen in shock when she saw him but ignored it and approaches the two slifers. Hey bro, what took you so long? Jaden asked and Naruto just smiled at him. I had to talk Chancellor Shepard. Naruto said to him and this caught everyone looks at him confused. Why do you need to? Cyrus asked and Naruto just ruffled the short boy hair making him pout at him. Don't worry, it was just a small talk. Well, we better get going now. Naruto said and the two nodded at him. Before they left the arena, but Jaden suddenly stops on his tracks causing the two stop also. Jaden looks back at Alexis and Natsumi. By the way, I didn't get your names. Jaden asked. Alexis and Natsumi smiled at him. I'm Alexis Rhodes. Alexis said. Natsumi Namikaze. Natsumi said, then she looks at Naruto and saw that Naruto was glaring at her, that causes her to flinch from that look. Well, I'm Jaden Yuki and this is my brother Naruto and my friend Cyrus. Jaden said and Alexis looks at them with confused look on her face. You two don't resemble anything at all. Alexis said and Naruto just rolled his eyes. I'm his adopted brother and a proud one too. Naruto said and Naruto looks at Natsumi to look depressed as she heard those words that made Naruto smirk a little. Let's go you two. Naruto and others left, leaving only Natsumi and Alexis on the arena. Alexis turns to Natsumi and saw the depressed look on her face. Natsumi, what's wrong? Alexis asked with a concerned look on her face. Natsumi snapped out from her depression and shook her head and gave Alexis a smile, but it was forced one. Nothing's wrong, Alexis. Natsumi said, but Alexis knew that there's something wrong. Anyway, we better get going also. Natsumi went ahead of Alexis and Alexis looks at Natsumi with a concerned look on her face. What wrong with you, Natsumi? Alexis thought. She was really concerned about her best friend's sudden change. Time skip. Jaden, Naruto and everyone else were relaxing at the room. Jaden and Cyrus introduced Chumli to Naruto and they became quick friends. Naruto was supposed to sleep in a different room, but Naruto just decided to move in Jaden's room since he was alone in his room anyway. Man, I'm already full from all those fried shrimp. Jaden said. Naruto was reading a book. Cyrus was making tea and Chumli was trying to sleep. Here you go, Naruto. Cyrus said as he handed the tea. Naruto thanked Cyrus and accepted the tea. Cyrus given Jaden his tea and left Chumli tea on the table since he said he didn't want any of it. Just moments later Jaden PDA rang. Jaden opens it and saw an incoming voice message and reveals video of Chaz. Don't think you're off the hook, slacker. Tonight at midnight we duel at the duel arena. Winners get the loser's best card. Man, that guy really wanna beat you, Jaden. Cyrus said and Jaden had a grin on his face. I'm so in, let's go Sai. Jaden said as moves out from his seat and grabbed his deck and duel disc. You do know that the arena is off limit at this hour, right? If the security campus saw you two, then you're both in big trouble. Naruto explained the two. Jaden and Cyrus look at him with wide eyes in what they just heard now. Really? Jaden asked and Naruto just raised a brow at him. Do you think I would lie to you, Jaden? Naruto asked and Jaden just pouted at him. He knew that Naruto was right, the blonde would never lie to him. But I want to duel him. Jaden whined and Naruto just rolled his eyes. Fine, I'll help you guys. Naruto said and Jaden's eyes lit up like a child while Cyrus looked at him confused. How are you going to do that, Naruto? Cyrus asked and Naruto just raised a brow at him until he realized that forgot tell Cyrus something. I forgot tell something about me, didn't I? Naruto said, and Cyrus continues to look confused. Well Cyrus, I'm a psychic duelist. I can bring any duel monster to life. Naruto explained, and Cyrus' eyes widened in shock in hearing this. Really? Cyrus asked, and Naruto pulls out card from his deck and reveals to be Crystal Kuribo card. Come out Crystal Kuribo, Naruto said, and then the card glow bright for a few seconds and suddenly a small brown creature with a green gem on the forehead reveals itself. Ah! Cyrus screamed in shock as he saw the monster before him. Naruto pet the creature and they could hear it purr. Come on Cyrus, it won't hurt you, Naruto said. Cyrus snapped out from his shock and slowly approaches the creature. He hastily extends his arm towards the creature and started to pat it. To his surprise, the creature likes it and flew into Cyrus' head. See, there's nothing to be afraid of, Naruto said, and Cyrus nodded at him. Let's go already. I want to duel Chaz now, Jaden said, and the two Slifer nodded at him. Hey Chumli, you coming? Cyrus asked. No thanks, Chumli said in a grumpy tone. Cyrus looks at Naruto and he just shrugged at him. The trio left the dorm and headed to the arena. At the arena, the trio arrived at the arena and Jaden was ready to duel. I still think it's a bad idea, Cyrus said, and Jaden just shrugged at him. Hey, when someone challenged you to a duel, you accept it, Jaden said. Then the trio finally arrived at the arena and saw Chaz and Lackey waiting there. Chaz watches Jaden walks to the other side of the field. You showed up after all, Jaden just smirked at him. You know I never back down from a challenge, Jaden said as he activated his duel disc. Just prepare your best card, Chaz said as he activated his duel disc also. I hope you do too, Jaden said. Duel, Chaz. 4,000, Jaden. 4,000. I'll start, Chaz said, then he draws a card. I summon Reborn Zombie, 1600, in defense mode. A zombie monster appeared in Chaz's zone. Then I place a card face down and end my turn, Chaz said with a smirk. Make your move, slacker. My move, draw, Jaden said and looks at his hand. I play Polymerization and I fuse Elemental Hero Burstinatrix and Avian to summon Elemental Hero Flamewingman. 2100 1200s, Jaden said, and the Flamewingman appeared in the field. Chaz has a smirk on his face. I activated the trap card Cethonian Polymer, Chaz said as he revealed his trap card, making Naruto eyes widen in shock. Oh, crap, Naruto said, and Cyrus looks at him confused. What's wrong Naruto? What does that card do? Cyrus asked. Naruto was about to answer when suddenly another voice interrupted them. I knew I heard something suspicious, a voice said, and two turns around and saw Natsumi and Alexis approaches them. Naruto eyes widened in shock when he saw the two but quickly hid it with a blank look on his face. Why guys dueling at this hour? Alexis asked, and Naruto just pointed his thumb at Chaz. That ego head wanted to challenge my brother and my brother accepted the duel, Naruto explained as he looks at Alexis and clearly ignoring Natsumi's presence. Anyway, what's so bad about that card? Cyrus asked. That trap card allows the user gain control of the opponent fusion monster by tributing a monster of his own, Naruto explained, and Cyrus' eyes widened in shock. That means, yeah, big trouble for Jaden, Naruto said as he observed the battle. Chaz monster was gone and Flame Wingman changed to Chaz side with a demonic look on its face. Well, I summon Elemental Hero Clayman, 800 2000s, in defense mode and end my turn, Jaden said as large warrior appeared on Jaden's side of the field. My turn slacker, Chaz said as he drew his card. I summoned Cethonian Soldier, 1200 1400, in attack position. A black armored soldier appeared at field. Now I attack with Flame Wingman. Flame Wingman body was covered with fire and charges at Clayman and destroyed him. Now Flame Wingman effects activated. When a monster is destroyed, that monster 80 points will inflict with your life points. Chaz. 4000. Jaden. 3200. Now attack with Cethonian Soldier directly. Chaz shouted, and Cethonian Soldier slash Jaden. Chaz. 4000. Jaden. 2000. Then I end with one face down. Your move slacker. Chaz sneered at Jaden. Naruto glares at Chaz for insulting Jaden. This guy is getting on my nerves. Naruto as he started to leak out some killing intent and towards Chaz. CC calm down, Naruto, Cyrus said as he tried to calm the blonde down. Naruto listened to Cyrus' request and took a deep breath to calm down. My move, Jaden said as he draw his card. I summon elemental hero Sparkman, 1600-1200, in attack mode. A blue and yellow warrior appeared in the field. Sparkman attacks Sethonian soldier. Jaden commanded and Sparkman released a thunder attack from the palm of its hand and destroyed the monster. Chaz, 3600. Jaden, 2000. Nice going Slacker. You activated my monster effect. When he gets destroyed, the damage I received to life points from that battle gets back to you. Chaz said with a smirk on his face. Chaz, 3600. Jaden, 1600. Man, this is bad, Cyrus said. The battle is not over until one of them hits 0. Naruto said. Bad, your brother is bad situation you know. Alexis said and Naruto turned his attention to her. But in a duel there's always a card that can turn this thing around. No matter how bad the situation is. You shouldn't give up, Naruto said to Alexis before returning his attention back to the duel. Alright, I place one card face down and end my turn. Jaden said. This is the end Slacker. Chaz said as he draw his card. Attack Flame Wingman. I activate the trap card Mirror Gate. Jaden said as he revealed his trap card. Chaz's eyes widened in shock when he saw this while Naruto had grin on his face. This card causes our monster to switch places, which mean that Flame Wingman is back to my side. Jaden explained. Sparkman and Flame Wingman changes places and the two clashes one against another and Flame Wingman destroyed Sparkman. Chaz, 3100. Jaden, 1600. You know the drill. When Flame Wingman destroys a monster, then you take damage equal to 80 point that monster was destroyed. Jaden said and Chaz was hit by lightning. Chaz, 1500. Jaden, 1600. You'll pay for that, Chaz said and grabbed one of the cards in his hands. I play the card Chthonian Blast. This card is activated when my monster is destroyed. I can destroy one your monster, then you take damage equal to half of its 80 power. Chaz explained. Flame Wingman is destroyed in the field. Chaz, 1500. Jaden, 550. Now use the trap card called the Haunted to bring back one monster from the graveyard and I call Chthonian Soldier. The Chthonian Soldier appeared once again. Don't worry, he won't be there for long. I sacrifice him to summon Mephis the Infernal General, 1800-1700, to the field. Chaz said and Chthonian Soldier disappeared in particle of lights and was created into Black Armor Man with giant axe in its hand and was sitting on a horse. You're dead, Slacker. On my next turn it's over. Chaz sneered as he let out a laugh. The duel isn't over until the life points hits 0. My move draw, Jaden said as he draw his card. His eyes widened in shock and grin appeared on his face. Alright, now guys, the campus security guards is coming. Natsumi shouted and Jaden is widened in shock and looks at Naruto. Naruto, do it, Jaden said and Naruto nodded at him and pulls out his card. Go Crystal Kuribo, Naruto said and the card flashes in bright light that blinded everyone. After the light was gone, everyone opened their eyes and saw Crystal Kuribo appeared before them. What the hell? Chaz said with shocked look on his face. Crystal Kuribo, can you scare the guards off? Naruto asked and Crystal Kuribo nodded at him and flew out to the duel arena exit. Soon they could hear screams coming from the guards. Monster, save me. Everyone's eyes widened in shock as they heard the screams of the guards. Wow, that Kuribo can sure scare them, Cyrus said. Ditto, Natsumi said. Now let's finish the duel, Jaden said and everyone turned back to the duel. You know Chaz, you said that I'm finished, right? Jaden asked and Chaz just sneered at him. Got that right, Slacker. You have no more monster and my monster has a piercing effect, so whatever monster you have there. It won't help, Chaz said arrogantly. I have disagree with that, Jaden said with a smirk on his face. I play the magic card. Monster Reborn. What? Chaz shouted in shock. And I bring back elemental hero Flame Wingman. Jaden said and Flame Wingman appeared at the field once again. Now destroy his monster. Skydiving Scorch. Flame Wingman body was covered with flames and jumps into the air and dives down towards Chaz monster. An explosion was created when the impact was made. Chaz, 1200. Jaden. 550. Thanks to my Flame Wingman special effect your finish. Jaden said. Chaz. 0. Jaden. 550. That's game. Jaden said as he did his signature pose. Chaz looks up and glare at him. You're just lucky that's all. Chaz shouted at Jaden and he just shrugged at him. Lucky or not, I win the duel but I won't accept your card. But if you want to duel again, I'll be happy to accept it. Jaden said with a grin on his face. Chaz got up and left the arena with grumpy mood with his lackey following him. Now let's get out of here. Alexis said and everyone nodded at her and left the arena. Outside the arena. Man, that was a sweet duel, Jaden said with grin on his face. Yeah, I thought would lose. But you won, Cyrus said happily. Then suddenly they heard noises. They turned to where it was coming from and saw Crystal Kuribo was approaching them. Crystal Kuribo, Naruto said as he catches Crystal Kuribo. Thanks a lot Crystal Kuribo, I owe you a favor. Jaden said as he petted Crystal Kuribo head. Curry. Crystal Kuribo chirped happily before he disappeared in small particles of light. How did Naruto make that Kuribo come to life? Alexis asked. Jaden looks at Naruto and saw that the blonde just sighed and nodded at him before turns back his attention to Alexis and Natsumi. Well, my brother here is a psychic duelist. He has the ability to materialize any duel monster to life. Jaden explained, and this causes the two girls' eyes widen in shock. When did you have that ability? I don't remember you having that ability, brother. Natsumi said and her eyes widened in shock in what she just said and quickly covered her mouth. Everyone's eyes widened in shock in hearing her words except for Naruto who just gave her a glare that her flinch. I'm not your brother anymore Natsumi, not anymore. Naruto said coldly to her. Everyone was surprised at Naruto's sudden change of attitude. Whoa, there bro. What's with the sudden change? Jaden asked and Naruto let out a sigh. He knew that he couldn't hide it any longer. Sorry, I don't want to talk about it. Naruto said as he started to walk away, but then Natsumi suddenly grabbed his wrist to stop him. Brother please smack. Everyone's eyes widened in shock in what Naruto just did. He just slapped her sister across the face. Natsumi was on the ground and looks up at Naruto and saw that he was glaring at her with cold eyes. Don't ever call me your brother again. You and that family and have neglected me for too long. You are not my sister and I'm not the son of those two, and to answer your question, when I got my psychic powers is the day when I run away from that hell home. Naruto said with an icy cold tone that would made anyone flinch. Natsumi's eyes widened in shock in hearing those words and bowed her head in shame. With no more words to be said, Naruto left, leaving Natsumi and the others. Today was a bad day to him. A week has passed since that duel with Jaden and Chaz and discovery of Naruto's true identity. Naruto explained to Jaden that he was the biological son of two powerful duelists named Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. He explained to his friends that he was neglected by his parents for his younger sister causing him to run away. Jaden and his friends were shocked in hearing his story and fully realized his situation and couldn't help but feel sorry for him. Naruto told them to keep it a secret and they agreed to it, which Naruto was really thankful. Now Naruto, Jaden and his friends were class with Crowler as the professor for this time, and Alexis was just done answering Crowler's question. Well done Alexis. I should expect no less from top student from Obelisk Blue. Crowler praised Alexis. It wasn't really that hard, Alexis said before she taken her seat. Crowler looks around to be asked next. He looked at the Slifer section and saw that something really irritates him. He saw Naruto asleep. Naruto Yuki. Crowler shouted, causing some students to jump from their seats while Naruto slowly wakes up from his sleep. Naruto let out a yawn as he rubbed his eyes. Yes? He asked as he looks at Crowler and saw that he was glaring at him. Well, since you were asleep in class, please tell us about what his field spell is? Crowler asked. He never saw that above the obelisk place. Natsumi was glaring at Crowler. Sure, no problem, Naruto said as he stands up. A field spell obviously affects the dual field. There are many kinds of field spell like Umi, which increases the Atic and Def power of aqua-based monster while it reduces pyro and machine-type monsters. My favorite one is the skyscraper, where only elemental heroes, only ones that receive major power-up like the power to defeat your monster. Naruto ended with a smirk on his face. Everyone in class was looking at him with wide eyes as he was able to explain the field spells while Crowler was looking at him with anger and hearing his lose against Jaden. You know, Mr. Crowler, being a Slifer doesn't mean that we are weak. After all, 2 Slifers were able to beat you, and also I did beat you with 1 turn. Naruto said with a grin on his face, and this causes the male obelisk to look at him with anger while the Slifers were looking at Naruto like he was some kind of their leader. I will make sure to expel you and your brother even if it's the last thing I do. Crowler mentally shouted, vowing to get vengeance at the blonde. Lunchtime. That's a crazy thing you did, Naruto. Cyrus said to Naruto. They were currently at the school store and they just brought bunch of sandwiches. Well, it's obvious that he was picking on the Slifers, and one the things I hate are bullies. Naruto as he took a bite of his ramen sandwich. I agree with you, bro, but I think Crowler is gonna get back at you. Jaden said. Let him try and we'll see who gets the last laugh. Naruto snorted as he proceeds to eat his food. After they were done eating and the bell rang, they quickly run towards their next class. Time skip. It was gym class and Naruto was late since he decided to have a small nap. He makes his way to the locker room and saw Cyrus with a letter. He tiptoed quietly to the small boy. When he was close enough he quickly snatched it. Hey, I was reading that, Cyrus whined. Naruto just ignored him and started to read the letter. When he finished he frowned at this. Dude, this letter is a trick. Naruto said, and Cyrus looks at him confused. What do you mean? It's a love letter meant for you and it was written by Alexis Rhodes. Cyrus said, and Naruto just frowned at him. Cyrus, I haven't spoken for her within a week, and look at time of the meeting. Naruto said as he pointed out the location on the letter. This is at the girls' dorm, so obviously a trick to lure me into a trap. Naruto said to Cyrus before he handed back the letter. I'll see you later, Cyrus. With that, Naruto left the room, leaving Cyrus alone. Cyrus looks at the letter again. I think I need to make sure of this, Cyrus thought. Time skip at the girls' dorm. Can you believe that, Naruto guy? A woman asked as she bathed in a hot tub. I know, said a different girl also bathing in the hot tub. That was totally rude the way he spoke to Dr. Crowler. She turned to face the third person bathing in the hot tub and asked, don't you agree, Alexis, Natsumi? Well, I say, Crowler got what he deserved anyway. Natsumi said, and Mindy and Jasmine looks at her confused. He did have a point. It was not right to pick on someone just because of their rankings. And also Naruto was able to beat Crowler in 1 turn and his brother Jaden was also beating Crowler. Alexis pointed out. Besides, I think it was cool in what he did in class. What do you mean by that? Jasmine asked, and before they heard a scream from outside. It's a boy, a girl shrieked from outside the bathhouse. Mindy, Jasmine, Natsumi and Alexis quickly grabbed some towels and wrapped them around their bodies before rushing outside. When Alexis saw who the boy that was caught and tied up by the girls was, she was shocked and temporarily speechless. What are you doing here, Cyrus? Mindy demanded an answer. I came to ask Alexis a question. Cyrus said in distressed tone as he held his eyes closed. I didn't know that the obelisk blue girl's dorm bathed at this hour, I swear. Leave him to me, Jazz, and Mindy. Alexis said. The other girls were about to complain, but stopped and ran away upon seeing Alexis's and Natsumi's cold glare. Follow us. Cyrus walked until he stood in front of a door. Individually, Alexis, Natsumi, Jasmine, and Mindy walked in, and then they came back out fully clothed. Now, what did you want to ask me about? Well, I saw this letter in my locker and it was addressed to Naruto with your name on it. Cyrus explained as he gives the letter to Alexis. The girl's eye widened upon discovering this. Alexis grabbed the letter and started reading it. This isn't me. I never send a letter to him and this isn't my penmanship. Alexis said, and Cyrus let out a sigh. So Naruto said was true. I should have listened to him. Cyrus said as he let out a sigh. But you're still in trouble, you know. Natsumi said, and Cyrus' eyes widened in shock. What do you mean? Cyrus asked. You still trespassed at the girls' dorm, which is a major offense. Mindy said with a smirk on her face. Cyrus had a horrified look on his face. But that means, Cyrus didn't finish because he was too scared in what will come out from his mouth, and the girls nodded in confirmation. Cyrus dropped his head in defeat in hearing this, and suddenly Alexis had an idea. I think I have an idea to save you from your trouble, Cyrus. Alexis said, and everyone looks at her confused. What do you mean by that, Alexis? Natsumi asked, and Alexis has a smirk on her face. Natsumi, would you like to have tag team duel with the Yuki's brothers? With Naruto. Finally. A few more steps to go and the Duel project is finished. Naruto said happily as he was walking back to his dorm. He was completely happy today. Maybe I should make Jaden also. After all, he is my little brother. When he was to reach to his room, the door suddenly burst open and saw Jaden had a panic look on his face. Jaden, what's wrong? Naruto asked as he saw the concerned look on his little brother face. Naruto, Cyrus is in big trouble. Time skip. Naruto and Jaden were heading to the girls' dorm via boat. Naruto let out frustrated sigh. That idiot, I told him it was a trap. Naruto said and Jaden looks at him confused. What do you mean? Jaden asked. A letter was found on Cyrus' locker and I was able to see it also. I told Cyrus that it was a trap but looks like he wanted to make sure of it. Naruto said and Jaden just nodded at him and started keep pedaling towards the dorm. When they arrived at the girls' dorm, they saw Natsumi and Alexis standing waiting there with Mindy and Jasmine behind them with Cyrus tied up. So you two finally arrived. Alexis said. Natsumi looks uncomfortably at Naruto gazed towards them. Naruto and Jaden steps out from the boat and looks at them with serious look on their faces. We're here, so release our friend already. Naruto said as he glares at them. Now hold on, your friend here trespassed at the girls' dorm, which is a major offense. Alexis said, and now you two are trespassing also, which mean you both are in trouble as he is. If you don't is to tell on you then listen to Alexis. Jasmine said and Naruto just sent a glare at the girl that made her flinch slightly from that glare. So, who are we going to settle this? Jaden asked and Alexis smirked at them. A tag duel, you win. You all walk away free but lose we'll report you all to the authorities. Alexis said and Jaden has a smirk on his face. That's what I like to hear. Let's get started. Jaden said and Naruto looks at Alexis with narrowed eyes. Who is your partner? Naruto asked and Alexis pointed at Natsumi. Her. Alexis said to Naruto and the blonde male narrowed his eyes at Alexis before at Natsumi, who flinches from one of his glares. Fine, was the only thing that Naruto responded to Alexis. Time skip. After retrieving two more boats, Jaden and Naruto were on two and other side were Alexis and Natsumi. Now, hear how it works, Alexis said as she activated her dual disc and the others did the same. We all have 8,000 life points and I will take the first turn then Naruto then Natsumi and finally Jaden. Are we clear? Alexis asked and he got nods of confirmation from everyone. Okay, let's start. Duel. Naruto, Jaden 8,000. Alexis, Natsumi minus 8,000. Alright, Alexis said as she drew her card. I summon a Duel Cyber, 1200-1600. In attack mode, a red-headed ballerina appeared on the field. Then I set a face down and end my turn. My move, draw. Naruto said as he draws his card. I set one monster face down and place one card face down and end my turn. One card appeared on the spell zone and one appeared on the monster zone. I'm next. Natsumi said as she draws her card. I summon Luster Dragon, 1900-1600, in attack position. A beautiful purple dragon appeared on the field. Then I set a face down and end my turn. My turn, draw. Jaden said as he draws his card. I summon Elemental Hero Clayman, 800-2000s, in defense position and end my turn. Jaden said as Clayman appeared on the field on defense position. I see that you have the same deck as that bastard father of yours Natsumi. Naruto said to Natsumi, he still is your father, brother. Natsumi said softly to Naruto and the blonde just glare at her. What is he talking about? Alexis asked to Jaden. It's not my place to say it. Jaden said to Alexis and Alexis looks at her best friend with a concerned look on her face. Natsumi, Alexis said softly before turning her attention back to the duel. I draw. Alexis said as she drew a card. I summon Cyber Tutu, 1000-1000, to the field. A ballerina with a white tutu appeared on the field. I attack your face down monster with a Duel Cyber. A Duel Cyber headed directly towards the face down monster and revealed to be a white wolf. It was Raiko, Lightsworn Hunter. I use Raiko effect. When this monster is flip I send 3 cards on the top of my deck and destroyed 1 card on the field. Naruto said as he places the 3 top cards to the graveyard. And I destroy Cyber Tutu. Naruto said, and Alexis gasped in hearing this, and Cyber Tutu disappeared from the field while Raiko was destroyed by Étoile Cyber. I end my turn. Alexis said as she looks at Naruto. Man, I didn't know that you would use your other deck, bro. Jaden said, and Naruto just smirked at him. Well, it is from my best friend after all. Jaden, Naruto said to him and looks back at Alexis. Draw, Naruto said as he drew his card. I use the spell card Solar Recharge. I discard one Lightsworn monster from my hand and draw 2 more cards. Naruto as he drew 2 more cards. Next I play Hymn of Light. I sacrifice Graganeth, Lightsworn Dragon from hand to special summon Saphira, Queen of Dragons. 2500-2400s. A blue dragon with angelic wings appeared on the field. Now I use one of her special effects. I choose her third effect. I can add 1 light monster from the graveyard and back to my hand. Naruto said as he brings back Raiko back to his hand. Now Saphira. Attack Étoile Cyber. Naruto said, and Saphira charges at Étoile Cyber. Trap card activate. Double Passé. Alexis said as the face down reveals itself. This changes your attack into a direct attack, and this causes my monster to you also. Naruto and Jaden eyes widened in surprise in hearing this. Saphira headed directly at Alexis and delivered a powerful punch to the dual disc. Alexis, Natsumi 5500. Now my monster attacks you, and when my Étoile Cyber attacks directly, her 80 points increase by 600, 80, 1800. Alexis explained. Then Étoile Cyber charges at Naruto and kicks him in the chest. Naruto, Jaden 6200. You would sacrifice your life points to save your monster? Naruto asked, and Alexis just stare at him. I'm a duelist. I can sacrifice some life points to attack yours. Alexis said, and Naruto just smirked at her. You're really different, Alexis. Naruto muttered. I place a face-down monster and end my turn. Draw, Natsumi said as she draws her card. I use the spell card Ancient Rule. This allows me to special summon 1 level 5 or higher normal monster from my hand. I special summon the almighty Red Eyes Black Dragon. 2400-2000s. Natsumi said. What? The brothers shouted, and a black dragon with red eyes appeared on the field and let out a threatening roar. Whoa, that's one sweet card. Jaden grinned as he saw the dragon appeared before him. She has the legendary Red Eyes Black Dragon. Cyrus asked in shock. Natsumi deck is contained with dragons. She at par with Alexis. Jasmine said. So better start packing now because you and friends will go bye-bye, Mindy said to Cyrus. The short boy looks at the duel with a worried look on his face. Damn, she brought out that damn thing already. Naruto growled as he saw the dragon before him. Now I summon Spear Dragon, 1900/0, in attack mode. Natsumi said. Then a blue dragon with a long mouth appeared before them. Now I activate my face down card. Dragon's Rage. During battle, when one my dragons attacks a defense monster and my dragon has higher 80 points than the death points, then it inflict the difference as battle damage to you. Natsumi explained to them. Now Red Eyes Black Dragon attack Clayman. Natsumi said as Red Eyes let out a roar and created a black orb in its mouth and fires it towards Clayman. Trap activated. Scrap Iron Scarecrow. This trap card allows me negate one of your attacks once per turn and it returns back to its original position. Naruto explained as one of the face down on his side reveals itself. An Iron Scarecrow appeared before Clayman and protected it. The card returns to its original form. Thanks for the save, bro. Jaden said as he gave Naruto a thumb up and Naruto nodded at him. Natsumi looks at them with jealousy in her eyes. I place one card face down and end my turn. Natsumi said. My turn. Jaden said as he draws his card. I play Polymerization and combine Elemental Hero Clayman and Sparkman to summon Elemental Hero Thunder Giant. 2400-1500s. Jaden said as Clayman leaps to the air with Sparkman his side and two combine into a giant Warrior wearing a yellow armor and was surrounded with lightning appeared before them. Now I play the spell card H Heated Heart. This allows me to give monster a 500 attack points for this turn. 2400-2900, Jaden said, and Thunder Giant was covered with Flame Aura. Now I use his special effect. By discard one card to target one face-up monster on the field with original ATK less than the ATK of this card and destroy that target. I choose Red Eyes Black Dragon. Jaden said, and Natsume's eyes widened in shock. What? Natsumi shouted. Now go Thunder Giant. Thunder Giant shot lightning from his hands and destroyed Red Eye's black dragon. Now I attack your spear-headed dragon. Trap activate. Mirror Force. Natsumi shouted as she reveals her trap card. This destroy all the monsters on my opponent's side of the field that are in attack position. A barrier was created from the card, and when Thunder Giant crashes to it, the barrier shattered and shot beams towards Thunder Giant, and Saphira were destroyed. I summon Burstinatrix, 1200-800s, in defense position and end my turn, Jaden said as Burstinatrix appeared in the field in a defense position. I have to say, Natsumi, you got some sweet moves. Jaden praised Natsumi, and Natsumi just rolled her eyes. Whatever, hero boy, Natsumi said. My turn, draw, Alexis said as she draws her card. Now I activated the spell card Pot of Greed to let me draw 2 more cards. Alexis said as she drew 2 more cards. Then I activate Shield Crash to destroy 1 defensive monster on the field, and I choose your face-down monster. Naruto, Alexis, and the face-down monster shattered to pieces. Next I play Mystical Space Typhoon. I can choose to destroy 1 of Spell of Traps on the field. A Violet Wind happened and destroyed 1 of Naruto face-down card and reveals to be his Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Now I play Polymerization to fuse Étoile Cyber and Blade Skater to form Cyber Blader, 2100-800s. Then a gray-skinned woman with futuristic glasses over her eyes appeared before them. Now I equip her with the magic card Ritual Weapon. This gives my monster 1500 points to its attack points. ATK. 2100 minus 3600. Now I attack Naruto directly. Alexis said as Cyber Blader charges at Naruto and delivered a powerful kick to him that causes his boat to shake a little. Naruto, Jaden 2600. No, Cyrus said as he saw the Yuki's life points were down. Alright, way go Alexis. Jasmine cheered. The boys are down for the count. Mindy said, I place on card face down and end my turn. Impressed so far, boys? Alexis asked, and she heard chuckle. She looks confused and saw that Naruto was chuckling. What's so funny? Alexis asked, and Naruto stops laughing and gave her one of his famous foxy grin that made have small red marks on her cheeks when saw that smiles. Because I never seen someone like you before, Alexis. I have to admit you are one heck of a duelist. You and Natsumi are not like the other arrogant obelisks. You have a great drive when comes to dueling. Maybe I should take you more serious. Naruto said, and Alexis narrowed eyes when she heard his words. What do you mean by that? Alexis asked. I'll show you. Draw. Naruto said as he draws his card. I play the spell card Pot of Greed to draw 2 more cards. Now I play the spell card Cards of Destructions. We discard the cards in our hands and draw new cards with the same amount we discarded. Naruto discards in his cards and draws new set of cards. Naruto looks at his hands and suddenly he heard a roar. He looks at his cards and saw it was Judgment Dragon in his hands. He knew that roar. It was telling him to summon him to the field. Looks like this duel is about to end. What are you talking about? Alexis asked, and Naruto has a smirk on his face. Now I have 4 different Lightsworn monster to my graveyard. I can special summon this card. Come out Judgment Dragon, 3000-3000s. Naruto shouted as he slams the card to his monster zone on his duel disc. Then the sky opened up and reveals a giant gray dragon. Everyone's eyes widened in shock as it slowly descend down to the water. Now I use its special effect. I give 1000 of my life points. I can destroy every single card on the field. Naruto explained, and this causes Alexis and Natsumi eyes widen in hearing this. Naruto, Jaden 1600. The dragon released a great roar and destroyed every single card on the field. Next I play the magic card Monster Reborn to bring back elemental hero Thunder Giant. Naruto said, and a shot of lightning happened and Thunder Giant appears back to the field. I'm not done yet. I summon Jane, Lightsworn Paladin, 1800-1200, in attack position. Then a woman wearing a white armor with a shield and sword in her hand appeared in the field. Alexis and Natsumi eyes widened in shock as they saw the 3 monsters looking at them and realized that they lost this duel. Like I said, Alexis, this duel is over. We win. Now go everyone attack. Naruto commanded, and every single monster attacks Alexis and Natsumi. Alexis, Natsumi 0. Naruto, Jaden 1600, winner. And that's game. Jaden and Naruto said in unison. Unknown to everyone that someone was watching the duel from the water. It was Crowler wearing a black underwater suit. He watching the whole duel and couldn't help but glare at Naruto and Jaden, who had a smile and grin on their faces. Next time, I will make sure that you slackers will be expelled. Crowler thought as he started to think of a scheme again. Time skip. Well, we lost. So like we promise we won't tell anyone. Alexis said. Cyrus cheered and hugged Jaden and Naruto. If you ask me, we should just turn them all of them anyway. Jasmine snapped. I could tell that you and the girls blackmail us to go to the dorm and made us trespass. Naruto said to Jasmine, and the girl glares at him. What do you mean by that? Jasmine said as she glares at Naruto, and the blonde male just rolled his eyes. It's because we have proof that you blackmail us. That invoice box you send. I can tell them to tell who said the message, and also the stupid letter that Cyrus has. I could use it as evidence that someone was setting up a trap for us. Naruto said, then pulls out his PDA and show it to the girls. Besides, I have all access pass. I could just tell them that these two were helping for some investigation. The girls looks at the PDA and saw Naruto picture that has all access besides it, that made the girl eyes widen in shock. How did you get an all access? Alexis asked. It's because I work of Kaiba. Hell, that guy wanted me to an obelisk blue since I kick his ass twice in a duel. Naruto said, and this causes everyone eyes widen in shock in hearing this. What? Everyone shouted, and Naruto covered his ears from the volume of their tone. Man, just chill out. It's a big deal. Naruto said. Not a big deal. You just told us you beaten one of the legendary duelists in world. I think you also met the king of games himself. Mindy said. I did, Naruto answered, and this causes the girls and Cyrus looks at him with wide eyes again. I met him twice. Even Jaden met him, and he gave a card to him while I received a deck from him. Naruto said, and his eyes widened in realization in what he said. Ah crap, Naruto cursed. You mean to tell us that the king of games himself gave you a deck? Alexis asked with disbelieving eyes. Naruto started to sweat a little. How about we discuss this some other time? I'm sure it's pretty late now. Naruto said as he tried to excuse himself, and Alexis was giving him a cold glare which made him avoid eye contact with him. You promise? Alexis asked with a glare that promised pain, and Naruto just swallowed the lump on his throat and gave a nod at her. Promise, as long as you don't bring those two annoying friends of yours. Naruto said as he pointed at Jasmine and Mindy. Hey, the girls shouted at him, which he ignored. Fine, go now. Alexis said, and the Naruto nodded at her before the Cyrus start row, but Jaden made him pause for a second. What's wrong, Jay? Cyrus asked, and Jaden smiled at him. Just wait a minute, Jaden said before looking at Natsumi. Natsumi? Yeah? Natsumi said as she looks at Jaden. You're a strong duelist, Natsumi, even it was only 2 turns you got. You show just how strong you are. You got game, Jaden said, and Natsumi eyes widened in surprise in hearing this. She couldn't help but smile at him. You too, Jaden, Natsumi said to Jaden. Later, let's go, Cyrus. Jaden said, and Cyrus nodded at him and started rowing away. The girls just look at them as they continue to watch them. Even if they didn't win, I won't turn them in because they are interesting bunch of people, especially Naruto, Alexis thought. I promise that I will earn your forgiveness, brother. Natsumi thought as she watches her brother and his friends. Mindy and Jasmine looks at them with odd look on their faces. I never seen them like these before. I wonder, are they falling for those slifers? Jasmine thought. Okay, bro, start talking now, Jaden said with a serious tone. They finally arrived back at dorm. Jaden and Cyrus were glaring at Naruto. Naruto let out a sigh and scratched the back of his neck. I guess you want to know how I met Yugi Moto himself. Naruto said, and the two nodded at him. Okay, but just swear that you won't tell this to anybody. Cyrus and Jaden looks at each other before looking back at Naruto and nodded at him. Okay, I met Yugi when I was having a private duel against Kaiba and beating him the second time around. Wait, you beat Kaiba Seto twice? Cyrus asked with shocked look on his face, and Naruto nodded at him. Yeah, and that was a good fight, Naruto said as he let out a chuckle before he continues. Anyway, after my fight against Kaiba I met Yugi himself, and he was interested in my dueling skill and challenged me into a duel. Naruto stated, and this causes the two slifers to look at him with shock. What? The two shouted in shock and Naruto just nodded at him. How'd it go? Jaden asked and Naruto let out a sigh. I lost. He was able to summon his god card already on the 4th turn. I barely survived that turn. Naruto said. So you lost badly? Cyrus asked. Big time. Naruto stated and the two just nodded at him and pitied the blonde. So where's the deck? Can we see it? Cyrus said with an excited look and Naruto shook his head as response. Sorry but I gave the deck to little Tasuki. Naruto said and Jaden was surprised in hearing this. You mean little sis has the deck? Since when? Jaden asked. Tasuki is a 7-year-old sister of Jaden Yuki and adopted sister of Naruto. A week before we left the academy. The cards has chosen her as their master, so basically Tasuki now is spellcaster duelist. Naruto stated and this causes Jaden eyes widen in shock in hearing this. I'm so having a duel against her when family day comes. Jaden said with excited look on his face. Naruto just chuckle at his adopted brother while Cyrus just look at him with sweat drop. What else are you hiding? Jaden asked. He wanted to know more about his adopted brother's secrets. I'll tell you all tomorrow after we have breakfast. Now go to sleep, Naruto said with a commanding voice that made the boys follow it. Naruto let out a sigh and scratched his head. Today is one hectic night. Next day. Where are we going, Naruto? Cyrus asked. They were done eating their breakfast and Naruto was leading Jaden and Cyrus to the deeper part of the forest. Just follow me, Naruto said and the two boys kept quiet until they were finally arrived in their destination. Naruto crunched down and removed some dirt of the ground and reveals a keyhole. Why is there a keyhole? Jaden asked but Naruto ignored it and inserted a key that was hanging around his neck. When he turns the key the ground suddenly rise up and reveal a secret passage. Whoa, a secret passage, Jaden said with a shocked voice. Come on let's go, Naruto said as he enters the passage. The two quickly followed. When they all entered the passage it suddenly closed. Ah, Cyrus screamed like a little girl and jumps into Jaden's arms. Chill sigh, Jaden said with a sweat drop. Naruto also sweat drop in seeing Cyrus acting like a complete baby. He just let out a sigh and pushed something in the wall and suddenly light appeared before them and guided them to a path. Cyrus finally calmed down and Jaden puts him down. This way, Naruto said to them as he started to walk ahead and the two followed him again. When they reached the end of the passage all they saw darkness again. Ah come on, Cyrus whined and Naruto just rolled his eyes and flipped a switch that was near the wall. Suddenly light started to appear in the room that made Jaden and Cyrus close their eyes for a few seconds. When they opened their eyes again and they were wide opened in what they saw. Whoa, Jaden and Cyrus said as they look around in awe. Everything was futuristic and very high-tech. There were loads of gadgets scattered around the room. They also saw a giant screen's computer with multiple monitors surrounding it but the thing that caught them in the eye was that something in the center of the room. It was red motor that resembles Slifer the Sky Dragon and they noticed that it has dual disc on it. Dude, what is this? Jaden asked as he and Cyrus approaches the motor and examine it. Naruto smiles and touches it. This, my friends, is my latest project. Naruto said before turning to them with a grin. I call this the Duel Runner or D-Wheels for short. Once this project is done any duelist can duel while riding on wheels. Naruto said and this causes Jaden and Cyrus to look at him with wide eyes. No way, the two said with shocked voice and the blonde just smirked at them. Yes way, imagine the world of Duel Monster evolve more revolutionary. You would see from your left to right, up and down and... Bro, you're going way over speech again, Jaden said. This wasn't the first time Naruto did it. The last time Naruto continued his speech. Jaden fell asleep in Naruto's entire speech. Naruto stops and glares at Jaden. Ungrateful brat, Naruto muttered which just made Jaden and Cyrus snickered. Anyway Naruto, Cyrus said which made Naruto snap out from his thoughts. How does this work? Well it's not finished yet. The system still needs some test runs. Naruto said as he let out a sigh. How about you ask Bastion? He's good at this stuff. Jaden suggested and Naruto rubbed his chin and thinks about it. Sure, maybe he can help me. Naruto said as he nodded before turning back his attention to Jaden. Well I told you my secret. Now are you all satisfied? He asked. Well, not much. Jaden said and Naruto looks at him confused. What do you mean? Naruto asked. You still owe me a favor bro. You had been hiding this from me a long time. You owe me a favor. Jaden said with a grin on his face, and Naruto let out a sigh and scratched the back of his head. Alright, what do you want? Naruto asked, and Jaden pointed at the duel runner. You make me one of those and teach me. Jaden said, and Naruto just chuckled at his adopted brother request. I was planning to make one for you anyway. Naruto said before he looks at Cyrus. How about you, Cyrus? Want one? Cyrus shook his head as his response. No thanks, something tells me that I might have problem writing that kind of things in the future. Naruto nodded in understanding. Okay, I understand, man. So are we all clear now? Naruto asked, and the two nodded at him. Okay, let's get out of here. Class is about to start. Naruto said. Jaden groaned in annoyance. Oh, man, another day in class. Jaden whined, and Naruto just rolled his eyes and grabbed the back of the Jaden collar jacket and started to drag him out of the room with Cyrus following behind. Time skip. A week has passed since the incident in the girls' dorm and Naruto revealing his secrets. Jaden, Cyrus, and Chumlee, who also now knows Naruto's secrets, mostly hangs out, as they call it, Naruto Garage, which really annoyed the blonde. The Slifers most spend their time helping Naruto in his projects, and sometimes Naruto would teach them some lessons to become a better duelist. Also during those weeks Naruto would avoid, run away, or in his term, tactical retreat, from Alexis and her company. Even he made a promise to tell her about how he gained the deck that he received from Yugi himself. He just didn't mention when he will tell her. Naruto continues to avoid or run away from her whenever she attempts to talk to him because he wants to avoid her at all cost. Now Naruto and the gang are in the Slifer dorm and getting ready for the test today. Well, today is the promotional test. Naruto said as he looks at his deck before he put them in his holster. Naruto looks around the room and saw Cyrus praying at picture at Slifer the Sky Dragon poster while Chumlee and Jaden were still fast asleep. Naruto just sweat drop at the scene. So much for being prepared, Naruto thought, and saw that Cyrus was done saying his prayer and tries to wake up Jaden. Jaden, come on, wake up, Cyrus said as he tries to wake up Jaden, which didn't do much. Let him sleep, Cyrus. Little bro here is a heavy sleeper. Let's just save him a seat in class. Naruto stated, and Cyrus just looked at Naruto for a few seconds and sigh in defeat before nodding at him. Alright, let's go, Cyrus said as they walk out from dorm and headed towards class. While making their way to class, Cyrus decided to start a conversation with Naruto. Hey Naruto, Cyrus said, and Naruto turned his attention to Cyrus. Can you tell me about your past? He asked, and this causes Naruto to stop on his track, and this causes Cyrus to panic, thinking that he crossed the line. Sorry, if you don't want to about it. It's alright, Cyrus said with panic on his voice and look on his face. Naruto just place a hand on Cyrus' shoulder, and this causes Cyrus to look at him with fear on his eyes. Naruto looks at him with a serious look on his face, which made Cyrus' skin turn pale. Just promise me you won't tell anyone about our conversation, not even Jaden. Got it? Naruto said with serious tone and deep tone, and Cyrus nodded at him. Naruto released his hand from Cyrus and the two started to walk. Well, how should I start? My first years of my life was hell, Naruto said, and this causes Cyrus to look at him with wide eyes. My biological parents, Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze, never paid attention to me, and Natsumi is a spoiled brat. Naruto said with venom as he spoke the names of his former parents, and this really shocked Cyrus. What? But she doesn't look like any you said, Cyrus said, and Naruto just rolled his eyes. Don't be deceived by her looks and act, Cyrus. That stupid girl was a good actor. She is spoiled little princess of those two idiotic parents. I was the better duelist than her, and every time she lose to me, she would whine to her parents and they would force to give up some of my cards and give it to her. Naruto said, and Cyrus was getting shocked more and more by the seconds. Why would they do that? Why can't they treat any of you like equal? Cyrus asked, and the looks on tells that he was angry after hearing about Naruto's biological parents. Naruto let out a sigh and scratched his head. It's because of a prophecy, Naruto said, and this causes Cyrus to look at him confused. A what? Cyrus said, and Naruto just shook his head. It's nothing. Hey, the test is about start in 5 minutes, Naruto said, and this causes Cyrus to start panicking again. We're going to be late, Cyrus said before he started running with Naruto behind him. In the classroom. All right, class. The first part of the test is a written exam. You have 40 minutes to finish it, now start. A man said. That man has long black hair and was wearing white long sleeve, black pants and black leather shoes. This man name is Professor Banner and he was holding a brown cat that was named Pharaoh. Soon the students were starting the test and so far many of the students were struggling to solve each problem, even the smart ones. After 10 minutes has passed. Banner observes the students and knew that they were struggling, but he noticed that Naruto was asleep. Banner decided to approach him and wake him up. Naruto, he called, and Naruto's eyes started to open and he let out a yawn and stretches his arms. Yo teach, is the test over? Naruto asked and everyone in the room looks at him like he was crazy. Banner just gave him a smile. Not yet, Naruto, but I think you finished the test. After all, a 100-item test is very hard with a very short amount of time you have. Banner said and Naruto just shrugged at him and gave him the paper. Already done. After 5 minutes the test started. Naruto said, and this causes everyone to look at him with shocked look on their faces. That's not possible. One of the obelisk students shouted. Naruto just ignored him and gave the paper to Banner. Banner just accepts the paper and scans it as he checks the answer. He was surprised when he was done. You have enough points to move to obelisk blue with this score. All you have to do now is pass the practical test now. Banner said, and this causes everyone to look at him shocked, but Naruto did something that surprises them more. He laughed. Ha 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 ha, that's a good one. Naruto said as he laughs and everyone looks at him like he was crazy. After he was done laughing he wipes a tear away from his eyes and looks at Banner with a smile. Sorry Professor Banner, but there's no way in hell that I'm ever going to join Obelisk Blue. After all, they're just a bunch of stuck-up kids that only used their money and influence to move above the rank. Only few people in Obelisk Blue deserve my respect, but the rest of them, they're trash. Naruto stated, and this caused majority amount of the Obelisk students to glare at him. The Slifer and Raw students were completely speechless and shocked at the blonde actions while Banner looks at him with interest. Naruto could feel the killing intent most of Obelisk students, which barely has any effect on him. You slacker, you should respect us. An Obelisk student said, and Naruto turned around to face them. Respect is earned, not given. If any of you want me to respect any of you, then prove it in the field. For me, ranking means nothing if you can't prove it. Naruto stated, and this hardens the glare majority of the Obelisk students. I'll be going now, Professor Banner. Naruto said. Of course Naruto, you could go ahead and good luck at the practical exams. Banner said, and Naruto just nodded at him. While making his way up, majority of the Obelisk students continues to glare at him and he didn't even give a second glance. Once Naruto left the room, Banner still noticed that the students were still glaring at the door where Naruto exit. He let out a fake cough that causes the students to snap out from their thoughts and look at Banner. You know there are only 20 minutes left, students. Banner said, and this causes everyone to panic and started to answer again, and suddenly Jaden enters the room. With Naruto. Naruto was currently now at the school rooftop waiting for the time to pass by since the practical exams is after lunchtime. He summoned Jane to have a talk to him. It's been 3 years since he passed away, Naruto-sama, Jane said, and Naruto nodded and looks at the sky and closes his eyes as he tries to remember that day. Flashback. Come on Naruto, we better get going. A black-haired boy said. Alright already. Geez Raiden, you sure are excited. Naruto said, and Raiden just smirked at him. Of course. Those new Lightsworn monsters are mine. Raiden said as he let out a laugh which made Naruto just sweat drop at him. Man, this guy is full of himself. Naruto muttered. Minutes later Jaden finally arrived at the scene and the trio went to the card shop. Time skip. Alright, the Lightsworn are mine. Raiden shouted as he came out from the shop with a mini pack of booster cards that consists of Lightsworn cards, with Jaden and Naruto following him. Chill down bro. We can build the cards at your place. Jaden said, and Raiden turns to him and nodded at him. Soon the two were heading towards Raiden home. When sudden they heard a sound of horn. They turned their attention to the road and they saw that car coming towards a small girl. When suddenly Raiden drops the boosters pack in his hands and charges towards the girl. Raiden, Naruto and Jaden shouted in shock. Raiden managed to push the girl away and the car was coming towards him. Crash. Naruto and Jaden's eyes widened in shock as they saw their friend was on the ground with a pool of his own blood. Raiden. Naruto roared as he saw his best friend on the ground with the pool of its own blood. Flashback over. Then you guys showed up after his funeral was done, telling me that he entrusted the Light Sworn deck to me. Naruto said, and Jane nodded at him. Yes, we will stand by your side until you've chosen the perfect successor of the Light Sworn deck. Naruto-sama, Jane said, it was at least I can do for Raiden. He entrusted me the Light Sworn deck and he was my best friend after all. I just wished that he was still alive and we, the three of us. Jaden, Raiden and me. We would have taken this academy by storm. Naruto said, and Jane just smiled at her master. Jane, yes, Naruto-sama, Jane said. Go look for Jaden and wake me up when the practical test is about to start. Naruto said as he lay down to the ground. As you wish, Naruto-sama, Jane said before she disappeared, and Naruto looks at the sky. He slowly closed his eyes and soon he fell asleep. Time skip. Naruto-sama, the test is about to begin. Jane mentally said to Naruto, causing the blonde to wake up from his sleep and stands up before stretching out. Man, that was good nap. Naruto said before he took up his two decks. The Synchron deck and the Light Sworn deck. Which deck should I use today? Naruto thought as he examines the cards. Then he heard 5 powerful roar from his Synchron deck. Then he saw that the deck was releasing a powerful aura, telling him to use them. He looks at Light Sworn deck with a sad smile. Sorry guys, but the 5 want me to use one of them for the exam today. Naruto said to the Light Sworn deck, and he could hear noises from the Light Sworn deck telling him that it was alright. Naruto places back the 2 decks in his deck holders and headed towards to the arena for the practical test. Time skip. Naruto finally arrived at the arena and looks around and saw the place was packed. Then he spotted Cyrus and others. He quickly approaches them. Hey guys, Naruto said cheerfully at the others. Cyrus the first one to greet him. Naruto, where have you been? Jaden match just ended, Cyrus said, and Naruto was surprised at this. Really? Wow, who he beat? Naruto asked. He was confident that Jaden would crush his opponent. Chaz, and thanks to that winged Karibo card and the magic card he had in the lucky draw to finish the duel. Cyrus said, and Naruto just nodded his head. He decided to ask Jaden for the details later. Naruto Yuki, please come to Duelfield. The announcer said. Well, it's my turn, wish me luck. Naruto said as he headed down to the field. As he make his way to the field, he saw Jaden, Alexis and Natsumi. Jaden was able to spot Naruto and run towards him. Bro, you're finally here. You missed our match, Jaden said, and Naruto just smiled at him before he looks at Alexis and Natsumi. He saw Alexis glaring at him, knowing already the reason, while Natsumi just gave him a sad smile. Naruto decided to ignore this and looks at Jaden. Yeah, Cyrus already told me. Anyway, wish me luck out there, Jaden. You might be in surprise in what might happen, Naruto said, and Jaden looks at him confused but just nodded at him. Naruto just passed them, ignoring the girls, and headed to the field. Your brother just ignored us, Alexis stated with pissed off look on her face. Natsumi's smile turned into a frown as she watches her brother walk away from them. Come on, Alexis. It's cool. It's just completely focused on the match, besides you didn't even spoke a word during our talk, Jaden said. That made Alexis glare at him, which made him flinch. Well, I'm not a very rude person, you know, Alexis said at him with glaring eyes. Then she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turns around and saw Natsumi looking at her. Calm down, Alexis. Naruto is just focusing his match today. You can talk to him after that, Natsumi said, and Jaden gave her thanking look and she just nods at him. Alexis just let out a sigh to calm down before the trio headed to audience. With Naruto. Naruto puts on the duel disc and places his Synchron deck. He finally arrives at the arena and he looks at his opponent and was surprised in what he saw. Mindy, Jasmine, why are you both here? Naruto asked with a confused look on his face. Jasmine just smirked at him. Well, Dr. Crowler told us that we are your opponents today. It's a 2-on-1 battle against you. I don't know how he done, but this is a perfect chance for you to be humiliated for talking back against the obelisk blue. Jasmine sneered at him. Naruto just raised a brow at her, then looks at Mindy and saw that she also had a smug look on her face. He looks above and saw Chancellor and Crowler in small room with a clear screen where he could also see them. Chancellor, are really allowing this? Naruto said to Shepard. Shepard gave him a sad smile and pressed the button of the speaker. Sorry Naruto, but Crowler was able to make a good deal with this. Shepard said, and Naruto raised a brow at him. What kind of deal? Naruto said. He said that he would promote you to Obelisk Blue with no problem if you defeated your opponent. Shepard said, and Naruto just face-palm at hearing those words. You know that I will never ever going to Obelisk Blue. Naruto said as he narrowed his eyes at Chancellor that sent shiver to his spine while Crowler flinched in fear in seeing that glare. But fine, I'll have fun with these two. Naruto said before turning back his attention to the girls. He activated his duel disc and the girls did the same. Duel. In the crowd. Man, a 2-on-1 match is a bit unfair. Naruto is seriously in disadvantage here. Cyrus said. Don't be so sure, Cyrus. A voice said, and Cyrus turns around and saw Bastion, Jaden, Alexis and Natsumi approaching him. What do you mean? Cyrus asked. Well, for starters, Naruto is a very powerful duelist and with his Synchron deck, which is very mysterious deck. Who knows what is in store in that deck? Bastion said. You got that right, Bastion, and my gut is telling me that my bro would wipe floor with these two. Jaden said with a grin on his face. Hearing those words made Alexis glare at him. Don't underestimate them, Jaden. Mindy and Jasmine are strong duelists. Alexis said to Jaden. I don't know, Alexis. Naruto deck is very mysterious. Don't forget that he could combine his two decks to make it more powerful. His Lightsworn deck and Synchron deck could be a very powerful combination. Natsumi explained. Alexis was surprised at her friend's explanation. She just decided to ignore it and looks at the field to see the battle that was about to begin. At the field. I draw first. Jasmine said as she draws a card. First I summon Cyber Harpy Lady, 1800-1300, in attack position. Jasmine said as the monster appeared in the field. Then I place one card face down to end my turn. My move. Naruto said as he draws his card. I use the magic card Gift of Charity. It allows me to draw 3 cards, then I have to discard 2 cards. Naruto said then he draw 3 cards and discarded 2. Next, since I send Region Warrior, 0/0, to the graveyard from my hand, I can special summon it to the field in defense position. Naruto said then Region Warrior appeared in the field. Then I summon Mach Synchron, 0/0, to the field. Naruto said then Jet Monster appeared to the field. Then lastly I place 1 card face down to end my turn. That's it? Not much of a move though. Mindy said with a shrug, and Naruto just rolled his eyes. Just make your move, Obelisk. I don't have all day, you know. Naruto said rudely. The girls glare at him for the disrespectful tone that Naruto just used at them. Draw. Mindy said as she draw her card. I summon Silent Swordsman LV3, 1000-1000, to the field. Mindy said as a blue small swordsman appeared in the field. Then I used the magic card Level Up. This card allows me to special summon a higher level monster with the same name on it. So I sacrifice my Silent Swordsman LV3 to summon my Silent Swordsman LV5, 2500-1000s. Mindy said as the Silent Swordsman started to glow bright, then it suddenly grown into a man. In the crowd. This is bad, guys. They now have a monster that has 2500 attack points. Cyrus panicked. Chill, Cyrus, the duel just started, Jaden said. But Cyrus, right. Your brother has 2 monsters that has no attack power or defense power. He is in a serious disadvantage. Alexis said. Don't worry. My bro always has a plan. Jaden said, confident that Naruto will win this duel. His friends just look at him warily before turning back to the duel. In the field. Now I attack your Region Warrior. Mindy said as her monster charges towards Region Warrior. Trap activate. Negate attack. Naruto said, causing the swordsman to halt and return back to Mindy's side. You got lucky. I place 1 card face down and end my turn. Mindy said. My move. Naruto said as he draw his card. A smirk appeared on his face. Now, since I have a tuner monster on my field, I can special summon Quillbolt Hedgehog, 800-800s, to the field. Naruto said as Quillbolt Hedgehog appeared to the field. Now time to bring out of one my aces. Naruto said, and this causes the girls to eyes widen in shock. Now I tune my level 1 Mach Synchron with my level 4 Region Warrior and my level 2 Quillbolt Hedgehog. Naruto said then the 3 monster jumps in the air. Mach Synchron turned to a green ring and surrounded Region Warrior and Quillbolt Hedgehog. Chilling flames engulf the entire world. Pitch dark flower, set into bloom. Synchro summon. A blast of pillar of light appear behind him. Appear now, Black Rose Dragon, 2400 1800s. Naruto roared as the giant pillar of light disappeared and was replaced with a huge dragon that was created from petals of flowers and thorns. Everyone stare at the dragon in awe and fear. The dragon let out a mighty roar that created a powerful shockwave and nearly scared everyone. What in blazes? Bastion said in shock as he looks at Dragon with a shock and fearful look on his face. What is that? Cyrus squeaked in fright as he saw the scary dragon before him. Alright, he finally shown one of his aces. Jaden said happily as he saw one of his brother powerful cards. What card are you talking about? Alexis asked to Jaden, wanting some answers. That card is one of Naruto aces. He called it the Signer's Dragon. And that dragon right there is called Black Rose Dragon. Jaden explained, and this causes Natsume eyes widen in shock as she heard the word Signer. Wait, you mean to say that Naruto has all Signer cards? Natsume asked with shock look on her face, and everyone looks at her confused. Well, that's what he told me. Is there something about those cards? Jaden asked, and Natsume eyes softened and shook her head before she turns back her attention to the arena. So the dragons have chosen him as their master. Natsume thought, knowing that her parents would be very surprised when she tells them about Naruto. Mindy and Jasmine regain their thoughts, and Jasmine sneer at Naruto. Your monster still doesn't have enough attack power to destroy Mindy's monster. Jasmine said. She was also thinking about the set card that she plays if ever Naruto decided to attack her monster. Naruto just smirked at her, and for some reason the girls felt uncomfortable with that smirk of his. I use Black Rose Dragon special effect. The time that I was able to synchro summon it. I can sacrifice her and destroyed everyone's single card on the field. Naruto stated, and everyone's eyes widened in shock in hearing this. Go Black Rose Dragon. Naruto shouted, and Black Rose Dragon let out a roar, and soon vines started to appear around her and started whipping around the field and created some cracks on the field and powerful gush of winds that made everyone close their eyes, but thankfully Naruto was able to fully control his power and prevented from any getting harmed. Mindy and Jasmine opened their eyes and was shocked to see that the field was completely empty. My turn is not done yet. Naruto said, making everyone snap out from shock and look back at the battle. Jasmine and Mindy were now looking at him with wide eyes and slight fear. I used the magic card Pot of Greed to draw 2 more cards. Naruto stated as he drew 2 new cards. He looks at the cards and a smirk appeared on his face. Because of Pot of Greed to draw 2 new cards. I can special summon Scouting Warrior, 1000 in attack mode. Naruto shouted, and the monster appeared on the field. Next I sacrifice my Scouting Warrior to summon Turret Warrior, 2000. Naruto said, and Scouting Warrior was replaced with a big mechanical robot. Now I use its special effect. When I sacrifice a warrior type monster to summon this monster, it gains the original attack power from the monster that I used as a sacrifice. 1200 to 2200. Jasmine and Mindy gasped in shock and in what just happened, and so did everyone in the audience. I'm not done yet, Naruto said as he picked up 1 card from his hands. Now I activate the magic card Monster Reborn. To bring back Black Rose Dragon. Naruto shouted, and the 2 girls turned pale as they heard this, and a pillar of light appeared behind Naruto again, and when it was gone, Black Rose Dragon again appeared in the field as it let out a mighty roar. No way, Alexis said in shock. She couldn't believe how good Naruto really was. Naruto really is not showing any mercy. Cyrus said. I agree with you there, Cyrus. Naruto can now finish one of the girls off. Bastion said. Talk about overkill. Naruto really wants to beat them down. Natsume said. She was still shocked at sight in one of the powerful signer cards. Alright bro. Jaden cheered for Naruto and also hoping that he would face Naruto again and the blonde using the signer cards. Not so tough now, obelisk girls? Naruto mocked the girls, causing them to glare at him. Now here's the problem with you, obelisk. You think that people who are in Raw or Slifer are easy to beat up, but let this be a lesson for all you arrogant pricks. There will be always someone better, stronger than any of you, so you should never ever underestimate your opponent, because in the end you will just regret it. Naruto finished, and this causes trigger emotions from different people. The obelisks was pissed at him for disrespecting them with Crowler chewing his handkerchief in anger. The girls were impressed but some of them were pissed at him for disrespecting the blue dorm. The Raw and Slifer students look at Naruto in an awe and idolizing look on their faces while Shepard had smile on his face and was really impressed at Naruto's skill at duelist. Your brothers has balls, Jaden. Cyrus said and this causes the group to look at him with surprise. It was not everyone. Cyrus said something like that. I have to agree with him, Jaden. Your brother has, what you called, guts, for talking the obelisk like that. Bastion said, well, could you blame him? My bro wants everyone to be treated equally. To him it doesn't matter what ranking you have or what family you came from. All that matters to him is the attitude. Jaden said. He completely agreed to his brother and support his decision. Alexis was just surprised at Naruto's words but could help but agree to them. She knew that being obelisk means that you're a high-ranking student but that doesn't mean that you're a great duelist. She knew that Naruto was saying that you need to have a proper attitude and prove yourself in the field. Natsumi just smiled at Naruto's words. She clearly knew that Naruto has a good heart. Even after everything he went through from the neglectance from her family. He hated people who looked down on others because of their social status. She completely agreed at Naruto's words and supports it. Now finish Mindy off. Black Rose Dragon and Turret Warrior. Naruto said as the monsters attacked Mindy and causing her life points to go to 0. I placed 2 cards face down and end my turn. That moment Mindy fell to her knees. Jasmine looks at her friend with concerned look on her face. Mindy? Jasmine whispered before turning to Naruto, glaring at him. You could have gone easy on her. I don't give a damn if you're a boy or a girl. In the field you are just a duelist. I could care less about your gender. Beside you and Mindy are not even friends to me. Just a couple of annoying girls, who look down on Slifer students. The moment you disrespect people because of their ranking is the moment that I consider you nothing but a snob duelist. Naruto stated and was very harshly. Jasmine glares at him and draws her cards. She looks at it and a smirk appeared on her face. Time for you to be taught in respecting your superiors. I use the magic card Pot of Greed to draw 2 new cards. Jasmine said as she draws 2 new cards. Next I use the magic card Monster Reborn to bring back Cyber Harpy Lady. Jasmine said and Cyber Harpy Lady was back in the field. Next I play the magic card Elegant Egotist. If I have Harpy Lady is on the field, I can special summon 1, Harpy Lady, or Harpy Lady Sisters, from my hand or deck. Jasmine explained and Naruto narrowed his eyes. But she doesn't have any Harpy Lady on the field. Cyrus said and Bastion shook his head. No, she does have a Harpy Lady. Bastion said and Cyrus was confused at this. What he means that Cyber Harpy Lady is treated as a Harpy Lady. That's the effect of that monster. Alexis answered for Bastion. Cyrus was surprised at this and returned his attention back to the field. Now I special summon Harpy Lady Sisters, 1952,100s, to the field. Jasmine said and then the 3 Harpy Sisters appeared on the field. Now I use the magic card Reijeki. To destroy every single monster that you have on the field. Jasmine sneered at him. Naruto's eyes widened in shock in hearing this, then he saw that a powerful lightning shot from the sky and hits monsters and destroyed. Oh no, Naruto is at serious disadvantage here. Cyrus said with a worried tone, seeing Naruto monsters were destroyed. That was really an unsuspecting turns of event. Bastion said with surprised expression on his face. Brother, Natsumi thought and worried. She clutches her fingers together and hoping that her brother would be able to make through this. Who's the loser now? Now I use the equip magic card Unite We Stand and equip with Harpy Lady Sisters. Jasmine said, 1950 minus 3750 2100s minus 3900. Now finish the Slifer off. My Harpies. Jasmine said as the Harpies charges towards Naruto. Trap activated. Negate attack. Naruto said causing the Harpies to stop their attack and return to their original position. TCH. You got lucky. But next turn you're dead, Jasmine sneer at him. I equip the magic card Mist Body to my Harpy Lady Sisters. To prevent them from being destroyed from battle. With that I end my turn. Make your last move Slifer. Draw. Naruto said as he draws his card. Naruto looks at it and a smirk appeared on his face. I use the magic card Premature Burial. I sacrifice 800 of my life points to bring back one monster to the field. And I choose Black Rose Dragon. Naruto said as Black Rose Dragon appeared in the field again. Naruto. 3200. Next I summoned Turbo Synchron, 100/500s, to the field. Naruto said as a green robot appeared on the field. Now I tune my level 1 Turbo Synchron with my level 7 Black Rose Dragon. Naruto said, and this causes everyone's eyes widen in shock. What, another Synchron monster? Jasmine said in shock. No way, is he's really going to summon that monster? Jaden said with shock look on his face before it turns into a gleeful expression. What did you say, Jaden? Natsumi said, and Jaden just looks at her and smiled at her. Just wait and see. Jaden said happily before he returns his attention back to the field with his eyes waiting for anticipation. Natsumi just looks back with confused look on her face. Turbo's Synchron turns into a green ring and surrounded Black Rose Dragon. Clustering wishes will become a new shining star. Become the path its light shines upon. A green pillar of light appeared behind him. Synchro summon. Take flight Stardust Dragon, 2500 2000s. Naruto roared as the pillar of light vanishes and reveals a beautiful silver dragon. Everyone awe-struck at the sight of dragon. He finally summons Stardust Dragon. Jaden cheered and everyone was still shocked at the sight of the dragon. Stardust Dragon let out a powerful roar that created a powerful shockwave. Everyone finally snaps out from their shock and looks at the dragon with interest and awe. Jasmine was the last one to snap out and sneer at him again. Big deal. It's still too weak for my Harpy Lady sisters. Naruto just smirked at her and pulls out a card from his hand. I use the equipped spell card Megamorph and equip it to my Stardust Dragon, Naruto said, and Jasmine's eyes widen in shock. 2500/5000. Now Stardust attack her Harpy Lady sister. Naruto commanded as Stardust let out a roar. Something is not right here. Bastion said. Everyone looks at him confused. What do you mean, Bastion? Cyrus asked. It's just strange. Why would Naruto attack a monster that would not be destroyed in battle because of the missed body card? It will only just damages Jasmine life points, but the disadvantage of that is Naruto's Stardust Dragon attack points will drop in half because of the effect of Megamorph, because his life points will be higher than Jasmine. Alexis concluded, and everyone's eyes widened in shock in hearing this. You're right. You think that Naruto might have forgotten about that part? Cyrus asked, and Jaden shook his head. No way. My bro always have a plan. I'm sure of it, Jaden said with confidence in his voice. Jaden, I think that you trust your brother too much. Alexis said. I'm with Jaden, Natsumi suddenly said, and everyone turned to her. Huh? Alexis said in confusion. I know that Naruto has a plan. Like Jaden said. I know that Naruto has a plan to beat Jasmine. Natsumi said, and Alexis was surprised at this. She never knew that Natsumi would put that much faith in Naruto. Stardust let out a silver beam from his mouth and targeted Harpy Lady's sisters and caused a powerful explosion. Jasmine. 2750. The smoke clears up and reveals the Harpy Lady's sisters are still in the field. Jasmine looks at him with mocking look on her face. What was that about, Dobby? You might have damaged my life points, but you didn't destroy my monster. Thanks to Megamorph your monster 80 points and cut in half. 2500/1250. Jasmine sneered at him, and this causes many of the obelisk student to laugh at Naruto mistake. Naruto just smirk at her. Who said that I was done? Naruto said, and this causes the laughter to stop and look at him. I play quick play spell card from my hand, Mystical Space Typhoon. This allows me to destroy a spell card on the field, and I choose my Megamorph to be destroyed. Naruto said as they saw Megamorph was shattered to pieces and Stardust Dragon 80 points turns into 2500 again. Now to truly end this battle, I activate my trap card Synchro Ring. Naruto said as the card was revealed. This card can only be activated when my Synchro monster attack one of my opponent monsters and was not destroyed in battle. This allows me to attack on the same battle phase with my Synchro monster 80 power is doubled. Naruto stated, and this causes everyone in the room to go eyes widen in shock as they heard this. Stardust let out a powerful roar as he let out a silver aura. 2500/5000. No way, Cyrus said in shock in what he just transpired. Unbelievable. I never thought of plan like that. Bastion said. I can't believe it. Alexis said in shock. Alright bro, you win. End this match. Jaden cheered as he knew his brother has won this match by a landslide. Now end this Stardust Dragon. Naruto commanded as Stardust let out a mighty roar and started to create his attack. Cosmic Flare. Stardust released a powerful beam from its mouth and fires it towards the Cyber Harpy Lady and created strong explosion. When the explosion died and the smoke clears up, everyone saw Naruto standing there with a serious look on his face while Jasmine is staring at Naruto with shock look at her face. No way, I lost, Jasmine said as she fell down to her knees. Stardust let out a mighty roar that caught Jasmine's attention and saw that it was staring at her. Jasmine, Naruto called, and the girl looks at him and saw that Naruto had a disappointed look on his face. I thought that you and Mindy were different from the other obelisk students since you are friends with Alexis, but after this duel, it showed me that you are an arrogant person along with Mindy. Needless to say, you and Mindy are very disappointing. Naruto ended with narrowed eyes that made her flinch. If you change your attitude, then maybe, just maybe, I would respect as a duelist. Naruto finished before walking away from the arena, leaving everyone speechless. Wow, Naruto dominated the match. Cyrus said, first one to break the silence. Do you think Jasmine and Mindy will finally tone down now since Naruto completely destroyed them? Natsumi asked Alexis. The blonde girl let out a sigh and faces Natsumi and nods at her. Naruto, may I have been harsh on them, but he gave them a reality check. I think that's good enough. I hope they change their attitude. Ever since they have been hanging out with us, they have been arrogant and been looking down on the Slifers. Alexis said with a small smile on her face. Natsumi nodded at her in agreement. Come on guys, let's congratulate my brother. Jaden said happily as he starts running away from the group. Soon they followed Jaden and headed towards to where Naruto is. Well, that was a very excellent match if I say so myself, Shepard said as he let out a chuckle before he turned to Crowler, who has his jaw dropped to the ground, even if it's not possible, and was staring through the window with wide eyes. Thanks for the recommendation you gave to me, Crowler, but about Naruto being in the obelisk blue, that won't be possible. After all, Naruto is right. I did observe that some of the students are very cocky and looking down on others because of their ranking. I hope after what they witnessed today, they will learn that ranking isn't much compared to the skill of a duelist. Shepard finished before leaving the room and left a completely shocked Crowler in the room. Alright, a few more touches, Naruto muttered as he was working on the D-wheel in the garage. He activates the engine and system of the D-wheel. He waited for a few seconds, then the D-wheel activated, which brought a smile on Naruto's face. Alright, it worked. The system is running well, the engine is good, energy is stable. Naruto muttered as he analyzed everything, trying to find anything wrong with it. But found nothing wrong with it now. That made Naruto sigh in relief. Good, at least everything is working fine now, Naruto said with a smile on his face. Now all I need to do is test baby on the field and we are good to go. Naruto looks at the clock and noticed that it was already late. He decided to finish his work and head back to the dorm. 2 hours later, Naruto finally returns back at the dorm and arrived at the room. When finally arrived at the room, he saw that everyone was asleep. He let out a sigh and decided to get some shut-eye. Dreamscape. Naruto found himself floating in unknown area that was only filled with stars and cosmos. Why am I here? What the heck is going on? Naruto asked as he was completely confused. Then suddenly he heard a powerful roar. He turns around and saw a dragon that has long body and was pure crimson energy. Naruto's eyes widened in shock as he recognized that dragon. The crimson dragon, Naruto said in shock at the sight of the dragon. The dragon let out a roar and looks at Naruto. Naruto Yuki, the time is almost near. The darkness is rising and the world is about to be gone to nothingness. Only you would be able to stop it. The crimson dragon spoke to Naruto, and this causes the blonde to eyes widen in shock. The prophecy is about to begin. Be prepared, my chosen warrior, the dragon said before giving one last roar and turned into a blinding light that made Naruto look away. Back to reality. Naruto's eyes suddenly opened and he gasped before he sat up from his bed. He looks around and saw that everyone was still asleep and it was still nighttime. Naruto places his palm on his head as he tries to remember what just happened. What the heck was that? What does the crimson dragon mean? Naruto asked himself as he continues to think about it. Then suddenly a glow on his chest. He saw a symbol that looks like the picture of the Crimson Dragon. Naruto's eyes widen as he saw this and touches the mark and felt that it was real. This mark, it's the Crimson Dragon mark, Naruto said in whisper tone. Naruto looks at Mark again and thought one thing. I have the feeling that things are about to get bad. He doesn't know how right he was. Next day. Yo, bro, is the D-wheel about to finish yet? Jaden asked in an excited tone. The 4 Slifers are currently in the classroom but class was not starting yet. Not yet, Jaden. I still to test run it to make sure that everything will go smoothly. Naruto explained to Jaden and pulls out a tablet and shows the design of the D-wheel. Man, I'm sure that it will be exciting to watch once it's done. Cyrus said happily with Chumlee nodded in agreement. Yeah, riding on the wheels while dueling. How sweet is that? Jaden said. What's sweet, Jaden? A voice said, and this causes the 4 to stop talking and turn their attention to that voice. They saw Alexis and Natsumi standing there. Hey girls. Morning. Jaden greeted with goofy smile on his face. Natsumi just smiled back at Jaden, but Alexis just continues to look at them with suspicious look on her face. What are you guys doing? Alexis said, and Jaden looks at her. Well, we talking about the new sweet invention that bro. Jaden, don't talk about it to them. Naruto shouted at Jaden as he cuts him off. That made Jaden yelp because of his voice that caused Alexis to narrow her eyes at them. What invention are you talking about, Jaden? Alexis asked, and Jaden started to sweat at Alexis' scary look on her face. Jaden just decided to back away as he answers her. And never mind. It was nothing really. Jaden said as he let out a nervous chuckle and returned to his seat as he continues to laugh before he suddenly slammed his head on the table that caused him to go unconscious. The Slifer trio just sweat drop at Jaden action. That's one way to keep his mouth shut, the trio thought before turning back to Alexis, who was still looking at them with a glare. I ask you all again. What are you all talking about? Alexis asked again with more malice on her voice that causes Chumlee and Cyrus to hug together because of seeing the pissed off look on her face, while Naruto looks at her with a neutral look on his face. That's classified information, Miss Rhodes. Naruto said, and Alexis decided to approach Naruto, and the two faces were now very close. You will tell me, Naruto Yuki. Alexis said with glaring eyes, and Naruto just raised a brow at her and gave a smirk at her. How about we make a deal? Let's play a simple game. If you win I will tell you, but you lose then forget about it. Naruto suggested, and this causes Alexis to lean away from him and gave a smirk of her own. Fine, what are we going to play? Alexis asked. Naruto pulls out his deck and draw one card from it. If you can guess what type of card is this, then you win, but you're wrong then you lose. Easy enough, don't you think? Naruto asked with a smirk on his face. So it's a test of luck. How about we make it best 2 out of 3? Alexis said, and Naruto just shrugged in response. Sure, whatever. Naruto said, and soon the game started. So pick your guess. Is it a monster, a trap, or a magic card? Naruto asked, and Alexis looked at the card with narrowed eyes for a few seconds and gave her answer. Monster card. Alexis said, and Naruto just flipped the card and reveals to be the Sword of Revealing Light. Sorry, wrong answer, but don't worry, you still have a chance. Naruto said in teasing tone, and Alexis just glared at him. Just pick up the next card. Naruto just did what he was told, and Alexis narrowed her eyes again at the card. After a few seconds passed, she gave her answer. Magic. Alexis said, and Naruto flipped the card and reveals the card, and it was the Pot of Greed. Correct, so it's a tie. One last card left, Naruto said. He was about to grab another card when suddenly the bell rang, signaling that class about to start. Naruto smirked at her while Alexis just glared at him. Well, looks like our little game is over. Miss Rhodes, Naruto said with a triumph smirk on his face, which just made Naruto piss. I will know that secret, Naruto Yuki. Alexis shouted at him before leaving with a pissed off look on her face, with Natsumi following her. You just had to piss her off, Cyrus said as he looks at Naruto. Not my fault. Blame hero boy here, Naruto said as he pointed at Jade, who was still asleep. How's he asleep? Chumlee asked. Try slamming your head on the table with a loud thud like that and you'll get your answer, Naruto said, which made Cyrus and Chumlee sweat drop at him. Soon the classroom was being filled with students as class was about to begin. Lunchtime. Yo bro, you got a minute? Jaden asked. Naruto looks at him with confused look on his face but nodded at him. Sure, what's up? Naruto asked. Well, Cyrus, Chumli and I were going to the abandoned dorm tonight. Wanna come? Jaden asked with an excited look on his face. Naruto looks at Jaden with disbelief look on his face. The hell are you thinking, Jaden? That place is forbidden for a reason. Many of the students disappeared on that area. I'm not allowing you to go there. Naruto said with a stern voice. But, no arguments. I'm not allowing you or anyone going there. Understand? Naruto asked with narrowed eyes that made Jaden flinch. I got it, Jaden said with a soft tone, and Naruto nodded at him before he patted Jaden on the head and gave him a smile before leaving the classroom. You do know that your brother will do it anyway, right, Naruto-sama? Jane said as her spirit appeared besides Naruto as he continues to walk on the hall. I know, that kid is too curious. I want you to watch him and immediately tell me if there's anything strange going to happen. Naruto ordered Jane and she nodded at him before vanishing from his sight. I hope that you won't do anything stupid, brother. Nighttime. Naruto was currently in his garage and was continuing on working with his D-wheel with the laptop as he looks the data of the D-wheel. When suddenly his phone rang. Naruto flipped the phone open and answered it. Hello, Naruto here, Naruto answered as he continued to work on the cycle. Hello Naruto. The voice said through the phone. Naruto's eyes widened in shock and that made stop in what he was doing. Satsuki? Naruto said with shock in his voice and he heard a giggle from the phone. Yes, it's me. It's been a long time Naruto. Satsuki said through the phone. Naruto just narrowed his eyes and talked. How the hell did get my phone number? Naruto shouted through the phone. Now Naruto, that's not nice you know. Satsuki mocked scolding him. I ask again, Seto. How the hell did get my phone number and why are you talking to me? Naruto asked with anger in his tone. Fine, be that way. Satsuki said with cold tone through the phone. The reason I'm talking to you because my dad told me that new track is done and asking you when you are going to give data to him. Satsuki said through the phone and Naruto let out a sigh and run his hand through his blonde hair. Tell him that send him the data when I'm done field testing it. Naruto said through the phone. Got it. Oh, and one more thing Naruto. Satsuki said. What is it? Naruto said. I'm joining the academy next week. Satsuki said and this caused Naruto to eyes widen in shock. What? Naruto shouted through the phone. Bye and see you soon Naruto, Satsuki said through the phone. Now wait a darn minute. Naruto was cut off when the call ended and Naruto slams his head to the table. Things can't get any worse, right? Naruto said to himself, hoping that nothing bad is about to happen. Naruto-sama, Jaden-sama is in trouble. He got trapped in a shadow duel. Jane's voice rang through Naruto's head. Naruto's eyes widened in shock and immediately get out from the seat and immediately went to the D-wheel and put his helmet on. System activate, Naruto said as he pressed some few buttons and turned on the engines. Soon Naruto revs the motor and hits the gas and soon he was making his way out the passage with his D-wheel. The hidden passage door opened and soon Naruto was out and headed towards the abandoned building dorm. You better survive that duel, Jaden. Don't you dare lose on that duel. Naruto finally arrives at abandoned dorm. Naruto pressed a few buttons and on the helmet reveals the map of the abandoned dorm. Naruto saw the red dot on the lower level of the dorm. Found you, Naruto said before he started the engine again and headed to location. A few minutes later he found himself in a dark cave passage. Then he was out the passage. He saw a giant circle in the middle and giant dark ball. What the heck is that? Naruto said as he saw the giant dark ball. Naruto, is that you? A voice said and Naruto turned his direction and saw Cyrus and Chumli approaching him. Cyrus, Chumli, why are you guys here? Naruto said as he removes his helmet and steps out from the D-wheel. Jaden dragged us in coming here and when we arrived in this place we learned that Alexis and Natsumi were kidnapped by the mercenary duelist who is known as the Titan. Alexis and Natsumi are kidnapped. Where the hell are they? Naruto demanded as he narrowed that made the two Sliffers gulp in fear. They are in there, asleep in the coffins. Cyrus and said as he pointed at the two coffins in the room. Naruto wasted no time and rushes towards to the coffins and ripped it open and to see the two girls were asleep, which made Naruto sigh in relief, seeing that the girls are completely unharmed. He turns his attention to Cyrus and Chumli. Where's Jaden? Naruto asked and Cyrus pointed at the giant dark ball. He's in there. Cyrus said, alright, I will go help Jaden while you two watch over them. Naruto said before he started running towards the giant dark ball. Naruto wait! Cyrus and Chumli shouted as they tried to stop Naruto, but it was too late. Naruto already dived towards the ball and went inside it. Naruto was now inside the dark ball and found Jaden battling against a man known as the Titan. Jaden! Naruto shouted, causing Jaden to turn around and saw Naruto coming towards him. Bro, what are you doing here? Jaden said, and he saw Naruto's face that made him pale. Naruto had a look that said, you're dead. Smack. Naruto slapped Jaden in the back of his head. What the heck, bro? Jaden whined, but silence when Naruto glares at him. I goddamn told you that you stay out of this dorm, and now you are at a shadow game, Jaden. Your life is on the line. Naruto scolded Jaden. Jaden looks at him confused. What are you talking about? This is all just a magic illusion. Jaden said, and this caused Naruto to face palm. Jaden, look at that guy and tell he looks like a human anymore. Naruto asked as he pointed at the Titan. Jaden looks at the Titan for a few seconds and back at Naruto. Well, his eyes are now red. What's new? Jaden asked, and Naruto just face palmed at his brother denseness. You're an idiot, Jaden. Naruto muttered under his breath when suddenly Winged Kuriboh suddenly making some noise to get their attention. What is it, Winged Kuriboh? Jaden asked, and Winged Kuriboh pointed down. Naruto and Jaden looks down and saw many gray smiles coming towards them. What the heck? Jaden said in shock while Naruto narrowed his eyes at them and the dragon symbol of his chest started to glow, causing the smiles to back away from them. What the? Jaden said as he looks at his brother and saw the mark. What's that on your chest? Just finish your duel, Jaden, and you better win. Naruto said as he ignores the question. Jaden looks at Naruto and saw that he was serious and decided just to follow his brother order. My move, draw. Jaden said as he draws his card. I play the spell card Monster Reincarnation. I discard a card from my hand to bring back Elemental Hero Sparkman, 1600-1400, to my hand, then I summon him to the field in defense mode. Jaden said as Sparkman appeared to the field with his arms crossed in his chest and kneeled down with one knee. With that I end my turn. My move, draw. The Titan as he draw his card. Now since the Pandemonium field is gone. Your Monster Skull Archfiend. 2500 1500s. Effects activates causing you to lose 500 life points. Jaden said, and a dark smoke came out from the Titan's mouth. Titan. 1400. Jaden. 600. That's as nothing compared to a soul. Now Skull Archfiend attack. The Titan said as his monster release a thunder attack towards Jaden other monster that was Dark Catapulter. 1500. Then I set one card face down and summon Desrook Archfiend, 1100 800s, in attack mode and end my turn. The Titan said as monster appeared in the field. Draw. Jaden said as he draw his card. I switch Sparkman in attack position, then I equip with a card called Spark Blaster. This card allows to change the monster position and I could use it 3 times. Now I attack your Desrook Archfiend. Jaden said, and Sparkman released a thunder shot from his hand and destroyed Desrook Archfiend. Titan. 900. Jaden. 600. Now I use Spark Blast to change Sparkman back to defense position and end my turn. Jaden said as Sparkman kneels down again. Good job, Jaden. Naruto said, and Jaden just gave him a thumbs up. Trap card active. Battle scarred. Titan shouted, causing the 2 Slifer to look at him back. Naruto eyes widened in shock as he saw this card. Shit. Naruto cursed. What's wrong, bro? What does that card do? Jaden asked. That card is a continuous trap. Titan has to choose one Archfiend monster on his field, and this causes both players to pay their life points that is depend on the monster effect. Naruto explained, and this caused Jaden to look at him with wide eyes and turns back at the duel field with a nervous look on his face. Draw. Titan said, and his and Jaden life points goes down. Titan. 400. Jaden. 100. Now Skull Archfiend attacks Sparkman. Titan ordered, and Skull Archfiend shoots lightning towards Sparkman and destroyed it. Now I place one card face down and use the magic card Double Spell. This allows me to discard one card from my hand and activate one of your spell card from your graveyard, and I choose Emergency Provision. Titan said as the set card was disappeared from the field. Titan. 1400. Jaden. 100. You better make this turn count, Jaden. If you lose, I'm kicking your ass. Naruto said to Jaden. Jaden just nodded at him and placed a hand on his deck. My move, Jaden said as he drew his card. Yes, I special summon elemental hero Bubbleman, 800 1200s, in attack position. Jaden said, and a guy that was wearing blue hero costume with a white cape hanging from behind. Since Bubbleman is the only card in my hand, I'm allowed to special summon him, and if he's the only card on the field, I can draw 2 more cards. Jaden said as he drew 2 more cards to his hand. Now I used the magic card Bubble Shuffle. This is how it works. If Bubbleman is in the field and my opponent has monster on his side, I can switch them both in defense mode. Then I tribute Bubbleman to special summon a E-hero from my hand. We will see about that. I used Skull Archfiend special effect. I can render that stupid magic card of yours if the number hits in the number 1, 3 or 6. Your card will be useless. The Titan said as 6 balls of numbers that has the number 1 ignited with fire. Soon the fire started running around the numbers. Don't hit 1, 3 or 6. Naruto thought as he and Jaden watches the fire with narrowed eyes. Soon the fire finally stopped and landed on the number, 2. What? 2? The Titan shouted in shock. Yes, the 2 brothers shouted for joy, and soon both monsters were now in defense position. Now I sacrifice to Bubbleman to bring out elemental Hero Blade Edge, 2600 1800s. Jaden said as Bubbleman disappeared in the field and was replaced with someone wearing a golden armor costume. Now Blade Edge has a piercing effect, meaning that all extra damage goes to you. Now attack elemental Hero Bladegge. Slice and dice attack. Jaden commanded. Soon Blade Edge rushes towards the Skull Archfiend and slice him into 2. Titan. 0. Jaden. 100. And that's game. Jaden said as he did his signature pose. Soon the Titan was being covered with the dark slime monsters. Help me. Please help me. Titan said as he screamed for help, but Jaden and Naruto just ignores him. Come on, let's get out of here. Naruto said, and Jaden nodded at him. Soon the symbol on Naruto's chest finally stopped glowing and 2 saw a small shed of light, and immediately Jaden runs ahead with Naruto behind him. They dive towards the light, and soon the 2 finally found themselves back to the cave. They looked back at the giant dark ball and saw that it was getting smaller until it completely disappeared. Wow, Jaden said before Naruto and Jaden stands up from the ground. Jaden, Naruto, Cyrus shouted. Naruto and Jaden turns around and saw the 2 Slifers running towards him. We're glad that you're alright, Cyrus said, and Jaden just grinned at him. Of course I was alright. Jaden said. Do you think all of those things are real? Cyrus asked. No way, all of that thing was all an illusion like the start of the duel. I really wanted to ask him how he did. Jaden said as he scratched his head. Naruto just let out a sigh for what Jaden forgetting about what he said earlier to him. Hey guys, Naruto called, causing the Slifers to look at him. Help me carry the girls in the D-wheel. You traveled here with your D-wheel? Jaden asked with sparkle in his eyes, wanting to see the D-wheel. Naruto just pointed to where his D-wheel was. Awesome, the Slifers said in awe, while Naruto just rolled his eyes before a smirk appeared on his face. You guys are still in trouble, you know. All of you, Naruto said to them, and this causes the Slifers to turn pale and look at him. See, come on bro, give us a break would you? Jaden pleaded, and Naruto glares at him that made him flinch. I told you to stay away from this dorm, but you didn't listen. You, Cyrus, Chumli, Alexis and Natsumi are all in trouble. You will get expelled for disobeying this rule. Naruto shouted, making all 3 of them flinch from the tone of his voice. We're sorry. The trio shouted as they bow their head and knees down. Naruto just let out a sigh. These kids are really troublesome. Fine, I let you all go, but next time listen to me, got it? Naruto asked them, and immediately the 3 Slifers stands up and salute at him. Got it. Alright, just put on the girls on the D-wheel and let's get out of here. Naruto said, and the 3 Slifers nodded at him and went to Alexis and Natsumi, who were still asleep. Naruto let out another sigh and looks around the area. As scan around, he noticed a weird smoke coming out from the ground. Naruto's eyes widened shock as he saw this. Shit, Naruto cursed as he saw this and quickly run towards the D-wheel where everyone was. Bro, what's wrong? Jaden asked as he placed Natsumi gently on the D-wheel with Alexis besides her. Naruto didn't answer him and started pressing some buttons. D-wheel. Speed mode. The system said. Naruto immediately pulls out card and uses psychic abilities to materialize Junk Synchron and Current Warrior. Cyrus. Chumli. Ride them, Naruto said. Cyrus and Chumli were confused. Get on damn it. Naruto shouted, which made them follow immediately. Cyrus gets onto Junk Synchron while Chumli was on Current Warrior. Naruto wasted no time and quickly seats on D-wheel and puts on his helmet. Naruto pressed a few more buttons on and suddenly a pair of Slifer arms appeared on the side to prevent anyone to fall on the D-wheel. What is going on? Jaden asked in confusion in what Naruto was doing. Look behind you and you'll see your answer. Naruto said, and the three Slifers looked back and saw a giant black smoke behind them and was growing bigger, which really scared them. What are you waiting for, bro? Step on it, Jaden said with panic in his tone. Naruto revs the engine and steps on the gas, and the D-wheel started running with Junk Synchron and Current Warrior behind him with the same speed he was going. Jaden looks back and saw the black smoke gaining on them. Bro, go faster, Jaden shouted with panic in his tone. Naruto obliged and pick up his speed, and so did his monsters. Soon Naruto saw the light at the end of the tunnel and went through it and was now outside the cave along with his two monsters. He landed safely to the ground and looks back cave and saw the black smoke was completely gone. What the hell is that? Naruto thought before he could continue. He was cut off when he heard Jaden's voice. Note to self. Listen to bro advice, always, Jaden said before passing out. Agreed, Cyrus and Chumli said in unison before passing out also. Naruto just sweat drop at their actions. Time skip. Natsumi and Alexis' eyes started to open and saw Naruto, Jaden, Cyrus and Chumli surrounding them. Where are we? What happened? Natsumi asked as she and Alexis sat up. You two were kidnapped by the Titan and we had to save you too. I duel him and won, and soon a giant black smoke happened and Naruto was able to get us out of there before it could reach us. Jaden explained, and Natsumi and Alexis were surprised at this. Oh yeah, we found these things too. Jaden gave her a card and a picture that was on the frame. Natsumi and Alexis' eyes widened in shock as they received the two items. These things belong to my brother, Alexis said with small tear in her eyes. I finally have a clue where he is, Alexis said. You're not the only one, Naruto said, and everyone looks at him. That dark smoke might have something to do with the disappearance of the students, and thanks to some of the data I gather from D-wheel scanners, I might able to find those students, Naruto said before he walked back to his D-wheel and pressed a few buttons, and suddenly a screen popped out of nowhere in front of him and everyone saw this and approaches the D-wheel. Bro, what are you doing? Jaden asked. I'm trying to find some clues that would have any leads towards the missing students, Naruto said, and suddenly a red mark appeared in the map of the abandoned dorm. Looks like I can search some clues there. I'm coming with you, Alexis said. She finally had a chance to see her brother. There's no way she's letting this slide. No way, Naruto said as he continues to look at the data. Alexis gave him a fierce glare which he ignored. And why not? I finally have lead on my brother. There's no way I'm letting this slide, Alexis shouted at him, and Naruto looks at with a blank look on his face. Here are some reasons. You already broke the rules of the school that could cause you to be expelled, and you got kidnapped. There's no way I'm taking that risk, Naruto said, and Alexis gritted her teeth at this because she knew that Naruto was right. But I'll give some updates when I find information about your brother, Naruto said, and everyone was dead quiet as they wait for Alexis' answer. Promise me, Alexis said, and Naruto stops in what he was doing and looks at her. What did you say? Naruto said, and Alexis looks at him, and Naruto saw a few tears in Alexis' eyes, and for some reason it made her feel very sorry for the girl. Promise me that you'll find him, Alexis said to him with tears on her face. Naruto stared for a few seconds before nodding at her. I promise I'll find me, and I make sure it will happen, Naruto said, and this caused Alexis to smile a little at Naruto's words. You all better get back to your dorms. I have to tell Chancellor Shepard what happened in that dorm, Naruto said, and Jaden turned pale in hearing this. Wait, those that mean? Yes, Jaden, every single detail, even the two girls are part of my report, Naruto said, and this everyone to turn to pale. Naruto looks at them and let out a small chuckle, but everyone didn't notice this because they were thinking about their punishment. But if tell on us, we'll get XP. Don't worry, I make sure that you all won't get expelled, Naruto said as he cuts off Natsumi. This caused everyone to sigh in relief. But don't think for 1 second that you all won't get a punishment, Naruto said, and this caused them to turn pale again. With that, Naruto left the group with his D-wheel and headed back to his garage. What was that smoke? I felt a malicious aura from that smoke. Does this mean that the prophecy is about the darkness is coming true? Naruto asked himself, and he never noticed that his mark glowed for a second before the glow disappeared.
That's all for now. If you want to see next part, then please like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.